Well, we did it, lads. Hoes are mad today. Sorry we had to go back a little bit. I thought the verdict on the Johnny Depp trial would be in a little bit before 8:30 when we usually start, but there was some confusion with the jury, and I actually think I know where that was, which was on probably on how much to award Amber for her counterclaim. So if you did not catch it, what we just witnessed was the end of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Johnny Depp, they found on his yes on all 3 counts of defamation, and he was awarded $10 million. There's something that Rakeda has cleared up, but to be clear, they also awarded him $5 million in essentially additional damages. That is beyond the Virginia state legal limit, so he can only get something like, I think it's like $350,000. But it's telling that they wanted to give him more money than can legally be given to him by the state. In terms of Amber's counterclaims, they found yes on acts of defamation from the Adam Waldman article, that was Johnny Depp's former lawyer, and awarded her $2 million in her counterclaim. It means that Johnny's going to get a little bit over $8 million, right? Yep. Which is interesting because what Amber originally got was $7 million. But that being said, again, he definitely came out as the victor financially. And also, again, that is so telling that they wanted to give him $5 million when they legally can't give it to him. So that was maybe a misunderstanding on the jury's part or something. I'm not exactly sure. They wanted to make a maybe sign that they wanted to give him more money, but also thought it would be unfair. So right now what we have is an impending and currently exploding salt mine of feminists on the internet. And, oh, am I here for it? I'm here for it. I'm so happy. I've been following this trial very closely, mostly for myself. First of all, because it's just fascinating. It's a total shit show, and there's been some hilarious stuff to come out of it. But more specifically, because as people who've followed my channel for a while know, I've always been since I started doing YouTube, I've always been pretty vocal as a men's rights advocate. And I think that this trial, even though she got the $2 million, and that's what you're going to see in the media, you're going to see 2 ways of spinning this. One, that, well, she still technically won because she got this $2 million. I think I agree with Rakeda and the other lawyers on his channel that she won anyway. That will probably be one of them. I have to say,
it's gonna be glorious cope.
Oh, that is some pure distilled copium. However, I think that what that probably was a concession. It took them. I actually thought that they would be in and out on this quite quickly, but it took them 2.5 or 3 days of deliberation, and that's 2.5, or was it 3 days? So they had a while to think about this, and I thought it'd go through maybe on the first full day, but it didn't. And they had some questions, and I'm guessing that there probably was, as there almost always is in any kind of jury trial, you always have 1 or 2 holdouts. That whole idea, the 12 angry men effect thing of, well, if you just have one juror who's really dedicated to the truth, they can sway the rest. There's no evidence for that. In fact, the wealth of data from jury trials and the psychology of how they work is that 2 people can sway a jury, but 1 pretty much can't. So that was probably the $2 million was probably optics, or it was probably trying to come to some sort of concession with one of the jury members that were holding out and wanted to give her something for her suffering or whatever. But the reality is that Johnny won $8 million, right? So, yeah. And yes, Amber was $2 million in compensatory and nothing in punitive. And like I said again, yeah, the $5 million in punitive for JD can only be $350,000. So $8,350,000, as Theodore Pinnock says in the chat. That's it. And I'm ready for this salt. Reddit's already imploding. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah, what's Twitter look like?
I don't know. I mean, even though things have been
neither do I.
Turning for her, Reddit is really the last bastion on the internet of places where people were very supportive of her, and that's because it's freaking Reddit, you know. Yeah, but I think that'll be the one narrative is, well, she still won. I think that was to keep you kind of people from rioting and maybe.
Oh wait, let's hold on. Let's see if we can find some salt.
Oh, just go to Reddit. It's all over. Like, I can pull you up a thread right now.
What is this? What is Salon saying? I want to know.
I mean, they probably haven't published an article yet. We haven't. I think it's very unlikely that.
Why women are Uvalde's new scapegoat? What?
Oh my god.
Oh, shut up.
How?
That's a feminist bitch.
Oh, they deleted the Reddit thread, it seems.
Now the far right is coming for college. Oh, jeez fucking Christ.
Let's see. It should be in this subreddit, though. Oh, did they just lock it down? Yeah, they did. They just locked it. Interesting. They locked that whole subreddit down in about 5 minutes.
Like, will you guys just take a look at the articles on Salon? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It is like... It is, what's the word I'm looking for? A collage of horseshittery. Oh, wait. Far right is coming for college. The Sex Pistols shows rock and roll swindle, the greatest con artist. Like, oh my god. Like, I feel sick just being on here. No, I must go back to real club politics, but there's at least some semblance of sanity. Why is the rum gone? I'm drinking, by the way, so if I say silly shit, it's because...
Cheers, skull, and kanpai to everybody. We won a little bit. This is, the reason I've cared about this so much is, like I said, this is a big win for one, male victims of domestic, of DV.
And also, shout out to Nick for the shitload of money he's making in the last 7 weeks.
Yeah, good on Nick for making enough money to buy probably several more cars. Good for him. And awesome to everybody who's been on Nick's show, all the lawyers who've been covering this stuff for the last 7 weeks. I've been glued to it again because of the implications that it has for men's rights and for equal rights that you cannot... It's just saying definitively, finally, women have some personal accountability. You can't just go out there and lie and make up heinous lying statements about a man to destroy his life.
Or if you're going to pick your targets and for God's sakes be charismatic, because she is not.
She's released a statement, by the way. Would you like me to read it? She had one prepared.
Is the statement? I mean, I'm losing money. Is that about it?
It is. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I am heartbroken that the mountain of evidence... What was your mountain of evidence? Was still not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. Amber, your most significant piece of evidence was the video that you lied about leaking to TMZ, where Johnny Depp, on the day he found out that he had lost like $60 million, not because of you, had just lost $60 million, and he was walking around and slamming cabinets. And then you conveniently cut out the part of the video where you could be seen smirking and laughing while he's having a freaking breakdown. Yeah, that was your mountain of evidence. You don't have a piece of evidence from a doctor about the really heinous, despicable injuries that you claim to have suffered. Not a single doctor's note. You have a psychologist that I have some words to say about Dr. Hughes and some of her behavior. Dr. Hughes only takes cases that support women, does not support male victims of DV whatsoever. I don't even think she believes they exist, which is, again, why this is important. Again, sorry if I'm a little talkative. I'm very happy. I'm over the moon about this news, and I'm just so... This is a really big moment for men's rights in the West, and that have pretty much been shit on, in particular for the last 5 or 6 years. Yes, but in particular since this Me Too stuff, and I've said this before as well.
This is the death of Me Too, yeah.
But there were serious, violation things that were happening to women that were heinous and were kind of being covered up. That has happened in the past, in Hollywood in particular, by the way. But the whole point of that Me Too thing, of that word or that phrase, means men too as well. But that has not been the case for the last more than half a decade that this has been going on. It's not been that men can say Me Too. It's that women can say it with no evidence, but men can't have, again, all the mountains of evidence. Amber, what was your freaking evidence? That video of Johnny Depp slamming cabinets, and pictures of you with bruises that appear and disappear within days of each other, within the same day. Sometimes the bruises, you've got that magical Amica cream that gets rid of cuts and bruises instantaneously. Sorry, I'll continue. I'm even more disappointed with what I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. Oh, I'm ecstatic for what it means for women and men. You lying bitch. It is a setback. No, it's not. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. No. It says violence against men and women should be taken seriously.
Wait,
and if
violence against men should be taken seriously? What? Isn't that a good thing?
She said this verdict is setting back time to the idea that it's okay.
Read that again. That's what's confusing.
Her phrasing's bad, but it sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. So it's setting back the idea that it's to be taken seriously. I don't think so.
I was just confused by how she wrote that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. Here's the thing.
You know what we're going to do while you talk about this? I'm going to show pretty landscape pictures just because I feel like
okay. Well, they tried to bring in, particularly during jury instructions, that this was about freedom of speech. That's not correct, okay? That is not accurate. It was never about, because defamatory speech is not free speech, right? So if it's defamatory, it is inherently not free speech. If you've defamed somebody, it's not an issue of free speech. And your lawyers try to throw that crap in right at the end. So interesting it's being reiterated here. I mean, of course, this was drafted by your lawyers. I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Like, again, that last bit, all that free speech stuff.
That's so cringe, by the way. That's really cringe.
That's the precise narrative that her lawyers brought in, like, in closing. Like, entire, like, 6 weeks of the trial, that was at the very end, they started to be like, this is actually a free speech issue. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, it is. She's free to sprout her bullshit, and then Depp is free to call her on it.
You're right. It's actually not free. You can't accuse people of these serious things that cause demonstrable harm to their lives. That's not free speech. If you're lying about them, there's two elements of defamation, right? It has to be false, and you have to know that it's false, or recklessly, or with a reckless disregard of the truth, and it has to be malicious, right? She was found to have done both. And that's what makes it not free speech. If it's fake, or with reckless disregard for the truth, and intended with malice to destroy somebody else, or to harm them in some way, it's not free speech. That's why, and by the way, these cases are defamation cases are really hard to win precisely because of the free speech element. That you do have the right to talk shit about somebody. You don't have the right to lie and slander somebody. That's not a right of free speech.
Can I just randomly say, I'm very grateful for having a 40-inch screen because it makes streaming so much easier. Oh my god. Like, there's no way in hell. Like, you people that have anything less than the 30 inches, how do you manage anything? I don't get it. Because I have this window, and then this window, and then this one, and then I still have like 2 or 3 places left. Sorry, I'm just appreciative of my desktop. Like, oh, thank God. Oh, look, here's a picture from home.
Oh my gosh.
Look, that's my homeland.
Oh, is it?
Well, not that one, not the green one. It's the one of the mountains. Give it a moment, it'll kick in on the stream. Yeah,
trying to bring down my energy a little bit. Yeah, okay, I see. It is pretty.
I don't know if it's kicking in yet. Any day now, kick it. Ah, there we go. There's the beach.
Oh.
Are you good now?
So, yeah, I was. It just happened right before we came on. In fact, like I said, I pushed the stream back. Because we wanted to hear out what would happen.
If you guys can hear children outside, it's because there's children outside.
Oh,
I don't know if people can hear anything.
To finish up what I was saying, though, is that, yeah, I think that the 2 ways they're going to spin it is, 1, she technically won anyway because she got some money, and 2, which will be the most obvious, this is what what she said, the pre-prepared statement, which is, this is a loss for women everywhere. Next thing you know, they're going to tie you up to a kitchen stove and force you to be barefoot and pregnant because I wasn't allowed to fucking lie about a man and destroy his life.
I hate how this has become like a collectivized sort of affair, and it isn't just, can you just appreciate this for the two people that it is? And because that's the way I hate that there's like a public opinion about this, as if like this is a win for men and women everywhere, and it's like, this is going to get decided on a case-by-case basis if something else like this happens again. So
yeah, of course, but this is the first major public pushback to Me Too, because if you aren't aware, the ACLU made Amber Heard their ambassador for women's rights. She was literally supposed to be like the face of women survivors of DV. And so the public face of women survivors of DV got found in a court of law to be defamatory. I think that's
Canada.
Huh?
So I'm just looking at a picture. I think this is Canada. Your energy is very, very high, and I'm drinking. So I'm going to say, bring it down a little bit. So all the pictures of nature are like, like, see, look at that. See, look at that. That's a pretty picture.
Actually, speaking of which, let me, I will have a drink to celebrate. I've got a... You're going to make fun of me. I'm just like a gay little girly drink. I will put some gin in it, though. Can I get this open even?
Gay little girly drink?
I have a can of Blossom Hill elderflower and lemon spritz. Wine spritzer.
Yeah, so much of what you just said makes me feel like I'm growing a vagina.
Anywho.
Does that mean I can qualify for Me Too?
During the press conferences. Do you want to watch the press conference?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. Hang on. Just put on Rackets' stream. Give him some reviews. Stream? Yeah.
Hold on.
I thought they might. I figured Herod's team wouldn't, but... We value truth. Oh, Camille looks so happy.
We value truth. Oh, that's his team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jury. Thank you so much. How is he feeling?
It looks like they started about a minute ago, so we should get it up. If you can go back to when they started the
88,000, goddamn.
I know, like how many people were watching it. Yeah, just see if you can go back to the start.
We're doing a live stream of a live stream of a live stream.
They're already done, so just let's just hear what they have to say real quick.
There you have it. Attorneys for Johnny Depp not taking any questions right now. They made a brief statement. They have gotten into their...
I don't really care about what else they have to say. I'll wait for the next announcement, or the next team to come out and make their press release. No, good short statement. Yeah. Our client was defamed. That's it.
Did you go back?
I think the next one is a little bit more complicated, which is why they're...
Say that again?
Did you go back like the 2 minutes to when it started?
No, I just refreshed the stream.
Oh, you need to go back like a couple minutes.
Man, what a day.
Why?
What a day this is turning out to be. I'm going to try and read some more of these super chats. I know some giant ones have come in as well. I'm going to hit them as we got them, okay? So we're going to keep going. I'm watching for the
We're just reading super chats. What do you want me to do?
I actually told you to go back, but it's fine. It was really short. They just said thank you pretty much. So don't worry about it.
For Amber Heard's team to show up.
Oh wait. So Amber Heard's stream's gonna show up. What?
What? Johnny Depp's team left.
Huh?
Even the
I just wanted to watch the conference through theirs real quick, but it's already over. It was only. I watched it really quick because it was literally like a minute and a half.
No, oh god, this is so fucking bad. Oh, it's just
oh, what law and crime? I'm sure that they're shitting and pissing and crying, but
it's pretty bad. It's not damn.
Again, it is a lot of salts today.
Oh god damn! Like the next
wonderful.
Like the next day, this is just going to be a cultural thing.
Oh, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of crying, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of tears, but we were originally, I had no idea if it was going to finish up today or not. We were just doing our regular weekly stream anyway. So I'm so hyped, I can't even talk. I can't say, I know that you're probably right that does this actually mean anything for men's rights? Maybe not. But I think it's a symbolic win. And as somebody who's been doing this
we can make fun
for
of
6
it.
years. Yeah, but I mean, as someone who's been really invested in men's rights advocacy for like 6 years, it's a big win for me, at least. Also, she's getting ratioed on Twitter. Haha.
I'm annoyed that I can't see what's going on Twitter.
Oh, sorry. Right. So that brings us to our second bit of news on the more personal side of things.
Oh yeah, it's because I got suspended from Twitter, which is so not a surprise, by the way. Oh, let me
I kept telling you since you got the new account. I was like, I kept being like,
this is not gonna last long. Okay, look. So let me just see. So I can pull up the last 3 things that I got suspended for. Let me see. So I got sort of like timed out. You know, you get locked out for like 12 hours. And every time it's for the same bloody thing. The first one was for hateful conduct. Because I said, you think grace was invented by capitalists, how much of a fucking retard are you? I think that's a fair question. I don't know about you, but if someone says capitalists invented the concept of race, I think it's fair to call that person a retard. I don't know about you. Aiden, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's pretty R-worded, yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And the other one is, I can just as easily say trans people harm the sane and rational community with their pervasive mental illness. I stand by that too. I don't think that's very harsh.
Yeah.
Right? That's also hateful conduct. And you notice they get less offensive with each...
Well, Twitter, because you got on somebody's radar.
Yes. And, oh, this is the one I said, by the way, you edging a chick with a dick, that's a guy. You're blowing a guy. That's abuse and harassment. I don't know how that's abuse or harassment. You're telling someone what they're doing.
Twitter, again, you got put on somebody's radar, dude.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, and this is the stupidest thing. This is the last... This is the one that makes the least sense. This one is for hateful conduct. This is the one that got my account suspended, right? Check this out. Someone was talking about serial monogamy among the gay community, and he said it is not common among the gay community to be monogamous, which is true if you look at their statistics. And I said, explains the AIDS count, because it does.
It's still spicy though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're having copious amounts of you know, what's what I'm looking for? No, not that. Recreational sex. No, recreational sex, and you're fucking assholes, literally, right?
Well, you know the reason why that's a bigger problem, right? Like why this? It's because the blood barrier is thinner.
Yeah. It's because it's more. It's yeah.
So
yeah, it's more.
It's easier.
You know where I first learned that?
Because the pee-pee is not supposed to go in there, so it's not really designed for that.
Yes, I know. It's like if you are literally shagging a hole that is, you know, God's way for exit only, right? And then you're, you know, pummeling the crap out of it, literally again. You're increasing the chance, and you're doing this repeatedly with strangers. You're increasing the rate of AIDS within the gay community. That's not offensive. That's just true. I don't get how that's hateful conduct. That's just fact.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Very bizarre. By the way, do you know where I first learned that? There was a book that I read. There's the name of, maybe the chat will know this. Do you guys know who John Roberts was? You know who that was?
The Justice?
Aiden. No. John, not
Wait, what?
The fact that we're talking about rectal passages and the first thing you go to is Supreme Court Justice is quite alarming.
I'm sorry. I've been listening to law shit for like, and I've been making a video about this DB stuff. So my brain is just like, what, Justice Roberts? No.
Okay, no. During the 70s and 80s, the Medellin cartel. This was when cocaine was beginning to become a blue-collar drug. There was a guy by the name of John Roberts. He was a cocaine smuggler for that cartel in Miami. And he was talking to a doctor in one of the parties because... Sorry, there's beer kicking in. He was saying that if you look at the anatomy of the human body, the perceptiveness of cocaine is a lot stronger entering the bloodstream through the rectal passage than any other aspect of the human body. Because this doctor was sneaking off to shove cocaine up his ass. And that's where I learned that from. Because he wrote that in his book.
Great.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can find the book here. I think I still have it. Let me just see. It's not conspiracy, is it? No, it's in biographies. Yeah, John Roberts. What was the name of the book? Oh, American Desperado, yeah. My life, mafia soldier to cocaine cowboy to secret government assets. Yeah. That is a really good book, by the way. If you guys want to really know how absolutely fucking crazy the drug trade was in the 70s and 80s, read that book. When is the last time? This book has 74 chapters. Or 78. I also learned if you're involved in the drug business, always take people out on their knees. Oh, this was in a movie. This was on Cocaine Cowboys. He was in that movie.
Never seen that either.
It was a documentary film. It was really interesting, by the way. If you ever want to know, because I know a bit about cocaine from watching that movie and reading a bit the history of cocaine, because it's actually quite interesting to see how fucking crazy people do shit.
Oh, sorry. I'm still kind of coming down.
Someone said, why butt cocaine and not train spotting suppositories?
Wow. Before you get into that, real quick, Animation Unlimited for 3,000 Icelandic kroner says, Happy Pride Month, Aiden, and thank you. It perfectly goes along with whatever Spoon's talking about.
No, it's not. No, the doctor was straight. I hate
stuff a lot, though.
Yeah, but he's not doing it because he's gay. He's doing it because it's efficient. At least I think so. I think that was his justification. What you mean reading short? Don't you try and... This is like someone trying kink shaming me, ironically, and it's just no.
No, I mean it's just it's Pride Month. We should be talking about butt chugging. That's
no.
Happy Pride Month, by the way.
This is not if this is a happy Pride Month, it's not a good one because I got banned for making fun of the gays.
Well,
apparently.
I told you that was inevitable. Okay, so also my birthday is in June. I've always liked having my birthday in June.
Someone in the chat is asking me that a Johnny Depp impression. Yes.
You're gonna have to do some today, no matter what. Yes. It's nice.
Why is it rum?
Actually, you know what? I do have rum upstairs. I could get rum instead of gin, but I have that in my office. I have tequila and Cointreau and gin, and that's what I've got.
But it seems to me that a ship like that makes this one look rather superfluous, really.
God damn. Oh, God.
Can you sail under the command of a pirate?
Maybe after the stream tonight. On the server, we'll watch the first Pirates movie or something. Or we could watch my favorite Johnny Depp movie, which is, of course, I was going to say something, but Fear and Loathing is a real top one, but then, oh my God, what's
the rum?
I can't think of any movie, I'd be struggling to find one I like better than Ed Wood. Ed Wood is one of my favorite movies of all time. Have you ever seen it?
You seem familiar. Have I threatened you before? Sorry, someone's asking me to do impressions, and I'm
say you just kind of run out and just become...
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. What do you say, 3 shillings?
Have you ever seen Ed Wood, though? Have you ever, or know about who he was? It's a great, great film. It'd be fun if we watched that, Fear and Loathing.
By the way, I just need to say this for the record. I've never actually done any drugs in my life.
Not any?
Yeah.
What do you mean by, do you count weed?
No, I've never done that either. I've never done any drugs ever.
That's the most.
It's just never appealed to me. I'll tell you why, right?
What was it called?
And
it was legal at the time. I've never done anything illegal. I guess weed, but whatever.
It was legal at the time.
It was. What is this fucking shit called? Back in the day. What the fuck? People used to do this stuff, and then they made it illegal later. It wasn't whippets. It was a mild hallucinogen, and now I can't remember. Oh, salvia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine when I was an undergrad who had salvia sometimes, and
no, I'll tell this to the chat.
Well, that was in high school and college.
I don't understand the appeal of getting drunk or high. Like, it's never made any sense to me. Like, the people who drink to get drunk. I don't understand. Because a lot of people dress up and they go to a bar and they get shit faced. And I'm thinking, you're getting dressed up to go out of your way to drink, obviously, lose a lot of money, wake up next day with no memory of it, and your head hurts.
Well,
why? Why would you do any of that? That makes no sense. Like, on a logical perspective, like, why the fuck would you do that?
Well, for me, right, I've never been one for just like, okay, I used to go out to, when I was working full-time at my A&E firm, and I used to, or back when I used to work at the other firm I worked at, a lot of times after work, but particularly when I was working full-time and had like long-ass days, the stressful job, where there's millions of dollars on the line and shit like that.
We have a super chat telling me to do drugs. Do you
Horowitz,
honestly?
Feinberg, and Horowitz for 10 says, try it. We need a Coke spoon. You know what a Coke spoon is, though. You need a
Listen, if
spoon,
I'm gonna do drugs based on my character, it's gonna be heroin.
I thought that was heroin. You need the spoon for, yeah.
I will say.
You need one for Coke too. I don't know a whole lot about like how drugs are actually done. Wasn't that what? I think that was part of Amber's like contention that she doesn't do drugs, is that she wouldn't even know how. I wouldn't even know how to snort cocaine. Like, okay. Sure, Jan.
Yeah, sure you do. By the way,
sure, Jan.
I will say, I have once been tempted to try heroin. Not that I had any close contact with it or anything. It was because I was reading Slash's book, Slash from Guns N' Roses, and there's this. This is a true story, by the way. This was about 20. This would have been 2009?
Also, what a terrible day for you to get banned from Twitter, because now you can't have fun with all the fucking celebrating at the thought tears.
That's
it. Continue.
This was 2009, I want to say. This was a fair long time ago. I was about 19, maybe 18. I was reading Slash's book because I just came home from a trip to Scotland with some people I used to play games with. And when I was in the airport, I was just looking for a book to buy, and I went like, Slash's autobiography is here, I'm so buying this. And I started reading this, and there's this bit in it where I think he's in Steven's apartment, Steven the drummer, and he goes to this bathroom to shoot up heroin, and the way that he describes this scene, it's just this like gnarly little bathroom with this hanging light bulb that is like flicking back and forth like a horror scene, and he is desperately trying to find a vein to shoot up, and he's just plunging in his arm repeatedly.
And this made you want to try heroin?
No. This is another thing. This isn't the bit that
I'm saying, I don't know.
No. This isn't the bit that made me try to write heroin. This is just one of the stories with regards to the book. Right?
All right. I was gonna say like,
Yes. Now he is. He's stabbing himself repeatedly with the needle, trying to find a vein in vain, and blood is just squirting all over the place. And he said by the end it looked... Yeah, I know.
Bringing down my mood.
No, hold on. For goodness sake. Yeah, so it's Slash, because he might have passed out from blood loss. But there's just blood all over the walls in the scene. And he said it looked like a horror scene by the end of it. And I pictured just like that scene from The Shining, the elevators open up with the blood.
Yeah.
I just picture that. And I was reading this on a bus. And when I was younger, I was very queasy with any kind of depiction of death, and even reading this made me pass out on the bus, like literally slump forward, like the book is like falling by the driver's
Dude, don't read that book on
yeah. Then. Okay, no, so this happened to me, and then I was about I said maybe like 10 stops away from my college, and I just got the book, and then I just got off the bus. And you know, if you squint your eyes, the lights start beaming.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, so my vision was like that. So all I could see was just huge streams of light, because this was like 7:30 in the morning.
Did you get vicariously high?
No, this is just what I saw, and I just went. I should probably walk home.
Can you deal with like the sight of blood or anything, or does that also affect you?
No. If I see a needle going into somebody else's arm, I get the heebie-jeebies. If I see it going into my own arm, no problem.
What the fuck? We're the opposite then. If I see, like, I was in the hospital, like, it was a year and a half, 2 years ago now, or a year? I can't remember. In 2020, so 2 years ago, I was really sick, and I was in the hospital for like 5 months. And even after all that time, to the point where I was having blood drawn or stuff done so often that they collapsed a vein in my arm. And I told, after like 5 months still, I was like, I can't look at it, because if I look at it, I'll get queasy or loose, or like feel like I'm gonna pass out. But it doesn't bother me seeing it happen to someone else. But for me, I don't know.
Okay, so
if we combine our powers, we can be one normal person.
Or one fucked up person.
Or one really fucked up person.
Yeah, so that was the one bad experience I had with the book. The reason why I wanted to try heroin is because I think it's because at one point he was detoxing. So I think he went to, I think it was a golf resort in Hawaii that he went to, I think. And he shot up heroin after a while. So it was like a really strong hit. And he said it was a really potent shot. And he saw like little demons with guns marching towards him in like formation. And he said he put like the shower on to try and get it off, but he still could just see them marching up his arm, and it scared the shit out of him. And so he like smashed this huge glass shower and then ran buck naked down the fairway with bloody feet. And they found him in a broom closet with bloody feet, naked. And I thought, that sounds fun.
This is so funny.
That made me want to try heroin because of that.
Dude, I first tried salvia because my friend said that he could watch the music notes float by. I'm like, that sounds fun. See, that sounds like a thing that would be fun. Now, I did
Or then
salvia
chase the green fairy. Absinthe is still a thing.
I did salvia a couple of times, and I never had anything. I mean, I had like mild hallucinations, but then I stopped doing it too, because the guy who used to sell it to us in college, again, where it was legal, but I found him one day. We were freshmen, and by the way, this guy was, I don't know what was going on with him, but we were all freshmen, and he got kicked out after just 1 year because he had literally like at some point I think his GPA was like 0.3. He basically just had gone to college, shown up, and not gone to a single class. When I found him one day, he was sitting under a tree in the green space, like in the open green area in the college, and he was sitting there like with his arms flailing about, and I knew who he was because, again, he did not just do salvia. That guy did all kinds of shit. I walked to him and I was like, I think his name was Max. It's like, Max, are you okay? And he was like, no, dude, look at this. I'm stuck inside this tree. And he was looking at the shadow of the tree, and he had thought he was stuck inside of it. And he was like freaking out. We had to pick him up and take him back to my dorm room and like get him water and sit him down, let him go to sleep, because he was totally tripping balls. And that was on salvia. Well, he might have been on something else, but he told us it was salvia. So after that, I was like, I think I'll pass. That is not like fun. Like, it's funny that you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I just saw a friend of mine get afraid that they were stuck inside of a tree. And I kind of went like, that's enough for me. Thanks. Also, we have a couple of super chats. Thanks so much, guys. Horwitz Feinberg and Horwitz for $10 says, that works. A spoonful of the brown sugar works as well. And for another 10 says, chase the green fairy. Absinthe is still a thing. I have had absinthe. I got to say, not a fan of the taste. And I think that you really can't get outside of some parts of Europe any types of absinthe that have the amount of wormwood that would be necessary to experience hallucinogenic effects. At least not in the U.S. I was told that and in the U.S. it's sold, that absinthe that's sold in the U.S. doesn't contain, or the amount of wormwood that it contains. Again, I'm excited, guys. The amount of wormwood that it contains is so low that the amount you'd have to drink to actually maybe have a mild hallucinogenic effect, you'd be so blitz drunk anyway. It's pointless. And then Animation Unlimited for another 1,500 Icelandic krona says, okay, I'm just going to be a mega centrist and say that people's definition of gays/sodomites is screwed on both sides of the progressive and conservative aisle.
Okay.
Well, I don't have any problem with gay people, obviously. But
can I address that for a moment? Okay.
Sure. Before, real quick, one more for another 10. Horowitz, Feinberg, and Horowitz. Thank you so much, man. It says lysergic acid, trip balls for fun and profit. I think it's a different kind of profit than most people might write.
Yeah, I get the impression as well.
But you might let you have some prophecies. We are supposed to talk about gay pride because it is Gay Pride Month. Now, I'm only allowed to celebrate a little bit because I'm only half gay, but but I really I'm not happy with the way that the gay pride stuff gets. I would agree with you on that Animation Unlimited, that both sides end up politicizing it in ways that I find uncomfortable and annoying more than anything.
Yeah, can I address the gay thing for a moment?
Yeah, I just wanted to get in there real quick.
Yeah, because this is how I see the how can I say this without saying gamer words?
Don't now get this channel banned just because.
No. But what the hell? I could literally say what I did on Twitter and not get banned. In fact, I did. Yeah, there you go. Case in point. Silence is golden.
Yeah. I was trying to.
It's like, yeah, there's no comeback exactly. How can I say this? Between the gays and Agate Faye, put it that way. Right.
Okay.
Here's because someone asked me someone asked me just yesterday, what is the difference between those two? And I said, here's a difference.
I can tell you.
Yeah. I said, here's a difference. The difference between gays and the other one is if you're talking to a guy and he says he's gay, your response is, really? That's a gay guy. Because
your response is, okay.
No.
Cool.
No, that you're surprised because nothing about him says that he's gay. Because he doesn't show the outward appearance of homosexuality. Whereas the other people, those are the ones you could see coming from a friggin' mile off. Because they walk, dress, talk, everything about them is done through the prism of their sexuality and you can spot them from ages away. Like, that's the difference. There's the ones that think like, oh, well, I'm just gay and that doesn't affect any other part of my being. And then there's the other people who treat it like absolutely everything must revolve around this basic core aspect of my identity. And that's the difference between those two. And everyone knows the ones I'm talking about. Everyone has walked past a guy and you went like, that guy's gay. You're just thinking it because of just the way he walks.
But the other thing about that is, too, essentially that we've really moved in directions of when I was growing up, and I've talked about this plenty of times. I went to Baltimore School for the Arts.
Dan is perfectly right, by the way. Being gay is private, being queer is public. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That is 100%. That's perfect. 100% agree with that.
Everyone is asking about drugs now. Dirt is King for 2 says the hardest drug is the one you do is caffeine. I can't even do caffeine. Now that gives me jitters. I can't drink caffeine anymore.
What?
I sometimes I had a tea the other day and it was a lot. And then Arden, for 2 Canadian says, I'd expect Spoon to be a laudanum type. Also, shill. Thank you. I'd be interested in.
Isn't that open?
I would. Yeah, that's like the old school, very.
Is it because of
1900s, early 1900s, late 1800s kind of?
Is it because of my
posh.
avatar? Is it?
Yeah, that's why. That's why you're getting the laudanum. Well, I guess they were doing it like late 1800s. Yeah. Horowitz, Feinberg, and Horowitz for 10 says, we got some weird shrooms on the res. The machine elves await. I would love to do shrooms. That's the one, if I could try any illicit drug, it would be psilocybin. But you have to be like in a safe place and, not... I would want to maybe not have access to the internet, for example. And then...
not Twitter, at least.
Yeah. And Hositas for 4 says, interest in sexual identity is a symptom of spiritually and philosophically pathetic society.
100%
I would
agree.
say that part I also agree with completely is that, again, when I was growing up, it was not okay to be, it was, but it was the, the late 90s.
It's not to be celebrated.
And I remember the first time I went to Pride, because I went to Baltimore School for the Arts. It's right in downtown Baltimore. If you've ever been to Baltimore and know the gay area of town, that's where my school was, and that we were right down the street, like we're literally like a block away from, maybe 2 blocks away from where Pride happened every year. And every year, I started going to that high school in 2003, and every year Pride got bigger and bigger and lasted longer and longer, and it got weirder and weirder. So that by the time I went to it, I think, the first time when I was 15, because it was right down the street, and it's like they have food stalls and art vendors and arts and crafts and all kinds of stuff. But then, like, when I went back and I was going when I was like, back from college, because it's in the summer, and it was when I was in my 20s, it was. I remember even when I was like 15, I was like, there's like some weird sexual stuff here that I feel uncomfortable with because I'm still a child. I mean, but then when I came back, it was like full on people with strap on dildos and gimp suits and weird rubber dog costumes in the middle of the street with children walking all around, like in the same area. It's like, okay, hang on. This is not about being treated equally anymore. This is clearly something sexual. I had told you this earlier. I am, and then probably always will be to some degree, just a old-fashioned libertarian, which means that I want married gay couples to be able to protect their weed fields with AR-15s. That's how I feel about stuff. Okay, but as long as you're not bothering anybody else, I don't care. But it's gone way past. We're so much past not bothering anyone anymore. We're in another dimension from that. Yeah, and the Republicans of the 90s were right. I can't believe it
But that's the thing, or the conservatives rather, because you can say as long as you aren't harming somebody else, okay? Mm-hmm. But then you say, well, you are harming me and my children with this offensive display of grotesque sexuality, and they're going to say, oh, well, that's offensive to me, and then you're
I don't care.
You're back at ground fucking one.
Right.
But that's my point. That's the problem with libertarianism and ideology, is that it's the concept of you can do whatever you want, but as long as you aren't harming somebody else. But this is the thing. That is too broad. You need to institute some kind of a standard, because that is not enough to conceal the horde of society. That's the problem with it.
And it clearly wasn't going to be kept in the bedroom, and that became clear very early on. I think the part where you really had to... you need a moral distinction of that ideology. That's really what it's missing. And I think it's been designed in such a way that it is inherently accelerationist. I mean, the
this
gay
is why you need
pride
monarchy.
Is that it's ramped up so much so that when I was 13 or 14, I must have been 13. It was like my first year in high school, and I said something at this art school, and I said, again, this is more progressive than probably most places in 2003, right? And I said, I don't see why it's a problem why do gay people need to get married? That's between a man and a woman. Why can't they just get a civil union? And they were all up in arms about that back in 2003. And I was like, okay, well, at least I can understand that you want to be equal, and it's not equal if you can't have the same name for your, for what you're doing.
I don't know why they want to be seen equal with like an institution that doesn't approve of them in the first place. That to me is just weird.
Well, again, I think there were good arguments that you could have made for it. But,
it's like an air of legitimacy to it that I've never been able to understand. Like, it's like you want to be recognized like in a marriage like everybody else, but you're not like everyone else. You're gay. You're not men and women. I don't know why you want to be seen as equal, because you won't be.
I want them to be seen and treated equally under the law. It's not fair to not treat people unequally under the law.
We are monarchists. We are perfectly fine with the concept of not being equal and fair. That's the whole fucking point of why we're monarchists. So no, I disagree.
You're talking about the difference between, but no, that's the difference. We're talking about the difference between. And by the way, I
don't think of them as equal people.
And the people and the general public. The general public should be treated equally and should be under the law. Yes, they should. Who should not be treated equally under the law, Spoon? I'm totally against you on this. Who should not be treated equally under the law, and for what purpose? Now, unless they've done something... Oh my god.
I said that off mic, by the way, for a reason.
Okay. Thank god. Oh my god.
I said
I was going to be like, holy shit, I'm going to have to go off. And thank god you said it off air before I started to go on a fucking tirade at you, dude. Now,
I should drink and stream more often, by the way, because it's kind of obvious
who should not be treated equally under the law? People who are felons, right? If you have committed a felony, then we've agreed upon these terms. Then you can't have a gun.
Radke makes a point, by the way. Under the law, maybe, but under social standards,
But that's different. Then is that
but this is the thing, and this is. I hate this argument, but it is unfortunately true. Is you can't give like this. This is like where ideology meets reality, and it doesn't gel. Is that you can't give everyone the same access to everyone because certain people will just abuse it, and it seems to be the proclivity of a certain group, and that's where it becomes hard to kind of justify it in the public eye unless you happen to share the same kind of moral value. Because like Douglas Murray brings this up, like he says one part of the LGBT that he is gay himself, and he just says gays have not been all that what was the phrase he used, gracious in their victory.
That's been a weird part of it, and it's not as gays either. It's all
everyone that isn't white, basically.
It's all groups that were seen as minority or did have less power and less were less than equal.
So non-straight whites
at one point. So women, gay
everyone
people,
that isn't straight white male,
and non-white people. So and it seems that a lot of them, not all obviously, but a lot of those groups then become vindictive, even if it's been a long time since they've been given parity.
The gay one is weird, by the way. Because Frederick the Great was gay.
Yeah, a lot of people have been throughout history, obviously. Yeah. Being gay is not new. And Ardent Party, I do... I
especially the Greeks.
Yeah, Ardent Party, I do understand completely where you're coming from about once felons have paid their debt to society. I have... I'll throw this one to you, though. So let's say you're a felon and you want to be able to own a gun, and your felony was... even if it was a violent felony, and you paid your debt to society, you went to jail, you've done community service. Okay, I'm all right maybe with you owning a gun again. I'm not okay with somebody who's convicted of, let's say, CP or molestation, of being able to go near school zones, right?
No, those people should get the cannon.
Now, not all legal decisions are the same. If it's one of those situations where the person's like 19 and the other person is, 16 or whatever, and that gets filed that way. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about some 40-year-old guy,
That to me is such a weird argument as far as legal goes. Yeah. Like you can have sex with someone like when you're both... Like if you're 16, like if you're 16, 17, you can have sex, but as soon as you're 18, then now you can't. Because now it's a minor. It's like it's just a weird
I'm not saying it shouldn't be illegal. I do think it's somewhat gray, but like there's a world of legal difference in my mind between a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old versus a 40-year-old and a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Like these are complete worlds of difference. And the 40-year-old guy, I think maybe should go on a list, and
although if you're like a 17-year-old male and you're fucking a 40-year-old woman, you'll get props for that.
That should be illegal though, because that's disgusting. And yes, of course, that's another way that our society unfairly treats women.
Yeah, but it's the fact is like every male will high five you for doing that. Especially if the 40-year-old is attractive, then people don't give a shit. That's the God's honest truth.
Yeah. Also, Animation Unlimited for 300 Icelandic kroner. More cash. Thank you, man. You don't have to do that, but thank you.
Thank you, by the way. We appreciate the donation. Someone said, a Coke spoon is a piece of jewelry, often silver or gold-plated, and hung from a chain or a charm bracelet for those who wanted to snort the marching powder without using a straw or roll. It's called pride because they decided to replace the pride foundation in your heart spoon. Oh, hell no, that's gay. Don't ever say that to me again.
Well, what Sebastian Planty also said is, under the original intent, it wasn't pride as an accomplishment, but pride as in not ashamed. And that's how I grew up understanding
It's really going
into...
clearly not... That's how it's
what it is anymore,
morphed into, yeah.
No, now it is. It's
proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so... I mean, like, the trans kid stuff has been so clear about
grooming,
what this is about, right? Well, hang on. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I think... Yeah, the problems that we're having with the grooming stuff, and even did you see the clip? We may have played it on this channel where the teachers, I think, are talking. A group of teachers, and they're saying, "Are we groomers? Yes, we're groomers. Yay, we're groomers!" Like they're trying to take the word groomer back. They're like, "Yay, grooming!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, you go ahead and go for that." I don't think it's winning, but
the thing of it is, if the word groomed without the
Yeah.
who the hell is texting me? Go away. The word like if you say groomed for a role, generally the question would be, what is the role? Like if you're
like if it's an apprenticeship.
yes, like you're being groomed for like
For the monarchy, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah, but that's what you're being groomed for. But if you're just saying you're being groomed, that
usually in those, I mean, it has a distinct implication of
yeah,
sexual misconduct.
but without context, that's kind of what it's. Yeah, because if you're saying you're grooming children, that sounds kind of creepy.
For what? Well, I mean,
yes, for what is the
first they denied it. First they denied it was happening, and now they're saying it's a good thing. Sorry, Spoon.
No, that's pretty much all I had to go. I just find it very man.
It is
don't drink and then not eat anything because I'm kind of loopy. No.
Oh shit.
Where's whiskey? I have a whiskey bottle here.
What I was gonna say though is you find with so many. What you see with so many of these teenagers now is that like, I mean, well, you dealt with this stuff with the alphabet people the other day on Twitter. And this is basically the case. And everyone's pointing it out now because...
and Arctic. One is 48 and one is 54. 54? Sorry, 4. Woo!
Wow, how do you get this fucked up this easily?
Sorry, what was that thing? I don't even have headphones in and I can hear you just saying, how did it get so fucked up?
Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. That it's really like the new hip thing to do if you're a young person is to claim to have all these different mental disorders and be trans in particular or non-binary or whatever because it's super special. It makes you very unique. And one of the things that teenagers want to do is teenagers have an inherent desire to differentiate themselves from their peer group. So it's why throughout history, you always get, the band geeks and the nerds and the goths and the hipsters, etc., etc. Except now it's the, all those same groups, and then
I am not a lightweight.
Rainbow
Fuck you,
Brigade, and then the Rainbow Brigade, and the difference between the Rainbow Brigade and all those other ways of identifying yourself, both within an in-group and in opposition to out-groups, is that the Rainbow Brigade cannot even be questioned.
The Rainbow Brigade.
You can't question them. You can't.
I call them coalition.
You can't say them anything negative about them. Oh, hey, but what's up? Oh, one sec.
I have a question for everyone. What am I drinking first, Lefroy or Artbeck? Just say A and L, by the way, because anyone who can spell Lefroy properly, well done. What do you mean I'm a lightweight because I haven't eaten anything and therefore alcohol affects me more? Like that's just how the human body works. Also, I don't have 200 pounds of excess fat to fucking block.
Also, I can almost assuredly spell Lefroy correctly without looking it up.
Oh, really? Really? Go on.
Yeah, I'll type it in chat. See if I'm wrong.
I'm just saying, you need to be careful with stupid flags and the inability to be criticised. That's how we got the Dutch.
Shut up, you disco and Anglo-Saxon.
I put 2 P's in it. Remove the second P. It's just Lefroy like that. There you go. Am I right, Spoon?
No, you're not.
Oh, God dang it.
There's an A in there.
There's an A in there. Another A?
Yeah, it's a Laphroi.
Oh, I missed the second A. I see.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Like, it is an unusual thing to spell. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, whenever I write Lefroy, I have to just turn around. Like, am I spelling it correctly? Because I also miss the A. Like oig, or I put an H at the end.
The DRT is king says drink water.
Become a teetotaler.
but alcohol is nice. I did forget that.
Yeah, there we go. That's how you spell Lefroy. Wrecking is correct.
So the thing is, like you can't criticize these people at all, and they're completely protected.
You read what Artie Patty said. The
they were making claims about wanting to do things like go to Ukraine and fight. Although, to be fair, we all should update our flags now because it is Pride Month, and that means you need to remove the Ukraine flag to show your virtue there from your Twitter profile. It's time
Can't you
to
just
update
mix
it
them
with
too with like an opacity filter?
Did you see the new flag mock-ups people have been making that includes Ukraine in the Pride flag?
Oh yeah, it's really fucking cringe and gay.
The thing is,
did you see the 2030 version?
No, what is it?
Someone made like this was on Twitter that like this is the pride flag by like 2040, and it just included like an insane amount of flags and like little like it looks like you know those Nordic symbols with like the intersection triangles. It was like a load of things that look like of that art style, just decorating
or like Unknown from Pokemon.
Yeah, just in the middle of the. The triangle on the left side. By the way, I find the gay pride flag really offensive because it's basically a copy of my country's flag with gay colors. Are you copying my flag, you lazy bunch of bastards? Transformers are not necessarily attracted to the opposite sex.
No.
and sex is with SCKS.
So the problem there is places people into a strange kind of bubble where they can't be criticized. They have a lot of power over other people, but I have to be honest, I think people's tolerance, and I mean this as in willingness to tolerate shit, is running really thin. Is running really thin because for years the claimant has kind of been like, well, you can't, if you say something mean to a trans person, they'll, commit Sudoku, and that's terrible. I don't want people to do that to themselves. Although that is, I mean, obviously I don't want that to happen.
So many people are fucking alive right now.
But yeah, well, I'm sure everybody's talking about it. It's the trial of the century, But it was out of that desire to protect vulnerable trans people that it's become to the point where now, if you're trans, I mean, like, again, I said some shit about Doctor Who the other week. And by the way, when I end up being correct about that prediction on Doctor Who, I'm just gonna, which is that it is gonna have something to do with, they've recast,
Ew.
They have a new character called Rose, who is black and trans. There was a previous character on the show called Rose. I said, this is gonna be some kind of recast. I had tons and tons of people with trans and rainbow flags in their, profile saying really kind of fucked up shit to me. Way more fucked up than what you said and got banned for, including lots of like retarded, lots of, implying I should do Sudokus just for talking about a television show, by the way. And I'm like, this is trans privilege for real. They have been placed in such an isolated community where you can't, and I don't think that's healthy for them, by the way, to be like, there are no consequences for your actions ever. I think that's actually really unhealthy. That they don't get any exposure to real life whatsoever.
Tim just released a video, and I hope this is not true.
Huh?
I'm hoping the headline is an exaggeration. He said, Hunter Biden's leaked search history exposes Joe Biden...
I have it for you right here in a link, Spoon. I already have it up.
What, they shared photos and adult content?
I'm gonna... It was his porn taste.
What, they shared... Wait, he shared that with his father? Why?
Well, shall we read it real quick since you're on the topic?
What the fuck? What is wrong with you?
What
is wrong with this family? How are you in government, you sick bastards? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think government... I think people who are inclined to go into government tend to be kind of weird, right?
My God, they make Clinton look fucking tame.
Hunter's search history reveals his obsession with porn and sex fantasies, including 18-year-olds, lonely widow, and MILF crack cocaine porn. He uploaded his own amateur videos and texted Pornhub link to phone listed in his contacts as dad.
Well,
you can bring it up on the stream. I've got the Daily Mail article here.
Oh, God, that is... My God, I can understand you have an attraction to older women, because I also find older women attractive. But that's... God, that is the longest headline I have ever seen in my entire life. Holy shit, that is huge. I should really take that. I should really not say that out loud. That sounds really weird out of context.
Von Zonch, Nerdrotic looks at me and says, first time. It was my first time of being ratioed to that kind of degree where it was like...
Oh, shit.
A simple tweet where I was actually... I don't think saying anything weird got blown up by the gay Doctor Who community, apparently.
It's a gay Doctor Who community?
Yeah, I mean, enjoy the fact that your show has been failing now for years. I don't watch it anymore for a reason. And Animation Unlimited for $7.50. Kroner says, the association with red liquid days is only true for Greek males who do back plumbing. I'm not exactly sure if I know what that means, but red liquid days.
I can take a guess. It doesn't sound pleasant.
It doesn't sound pleasant, no. Warning, graphic content. Wait a minute. Is there anything in here? Don't scroll down through this article because it is full of fucking porn. So
okay,
I just want to just leave just have the TLDR from the mail.
Is it that bad?
Article.
Hold on a second.
It's barely blurred.
Hold on, let me just point it out for a second.
Animation Limited also for another 750 kroner says having sexual relations with the same sex is a choice.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just scrolling down to see if there's any names that I recognize. What the heck? What in the?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, this isn't a Daily Mail article. Don't. It's pretty intense. Like, yeah.
What in?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it constantly gets worse and worse with Hunter.
By the way, the picture of him with his knackers and the red scarf totally screams Johnny Knoxville. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, but
I'm looking at it. What the hell? God damn!
It's sickening, right? So
how is this guy? Did he actually?
He sent his own Pornhub.
I was gonna say like he looked himself up on Google.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Look at how many times he looked himself up on Google.
Himself up on Google. What the
so fuck? Many times, dude.
No, hold on. Bear in mind, what that means is he clicked on pictures in the Google search.
Yeah. This is a major article. I would suggest reading it. I'll post a link. Actually, can I even post a link? Probably not because it has the word porn in it.
This is ridiculous. Well, no, everything's blurred.
I guess I can. I guess I don't think you should scroll down through this on stream. I'm serious. I think it'll flag something. Like, this is... I would not scroll down through this.
I'm assuming that's his brother. That's not him.
The TLDR, though, is... Hunter Biden's internet search history from March 2019 reveals his obsession with porn for filming himself having sex with prostitutes. The president's son, who dated his late brother's wife, Hallie, which also is so weird. Ew. Repeatedly searched Pornhub for titles involving lonely widows as well as videos with 18 and 19-year-old girls. To be fair... I don't think that's... It's weird because of how old he is. That's quite common, though. That's like one of the most searched up things is barely legal shit, you know? And the 281... It's weird because of how old he is why it's weird. Of the 281 websites found in his search history over 6 days, 98 were pornographic. So 1/3 of everything he looks up on the internet is porn. DailyMail.com can reveal Hunter, 52, who had a paid Pornhub premium account under RHE East also uploaded his own amateur videos, but was careful not to show his face. He was also a regular user of sex cam sites, particularly glasscams.com, where he made screen recordings of himself interacting live with the women on the site. Text messages also show Hunter apparently sent a link to a Pornhub page to a phone number he had saved in his contact book as Dad in October of 2018. Among his search history is a visit to an article about his sister Ashley Biden's partying and arrest history.
How are you the president's son and you're doing this? Well, he's not really the president.
Former vice president's son doing this.
This is... Oh my god, this is... You'll always remember this as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. Captain Norrington, my effects, please. And my hat.
Goddamn. He searched for Washington, D.C. MILF crack cocaine 7 times in a week.
What?
Dude, what is up?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I want to know what he found looking for that, because that's like really specific. There's a lot of variables in that sentence. It's really narrowing down the search.
This is so weird, dude. Yeah, he's here to Dad. He just sent him a link to Pornhub. It wasn't anything specific from what I can tell. It was just a straight up link to Pornhub.
So that's why he looks so bloody old.
That was probably on accident, to be fair. Like, this appears to be a pretty severe porn addiction, though, at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. He looked up girl
Ew,
nude.
what is this? Hunter Biden rips farts while sitting naked in front of his laptop. Ew.
Oh my god, this is
As Jarnegi says, this is beyond your average everyday degeneracy. This is advanced degeneracy. Thanks, Jarnegi. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Advanced degeneracy. What? He's got so many Pornhub achievements.
Dude.
He's got Chivos.
Dude, there is one picture here that is really funny. So, I'm trying to describe the scene. So, it looks like... I'm going to be honest. It looks like a younger version of Marine Le Pen on the bed.
Oh.
Because her face is pixelated. And then next to it is another blonde as well. Looks like they're smoking something. Or she's using some kind of an inhalant. And then Hunter Biden has his camera pointed at the chick who's in like the distance. And he's in the foreground. Looking at a laptop, and it looks like he's cracking one out while there's two like prostitutes who are getting high behind him. It's like,
well, I didn't know
there's
he made
two
fart
prostitutes.
porn.
There's two prostitutes apparently behind you. One's already cracked out apparently, and you're cracking one out. I wish I was making this up. This is not a joke. If you can we link the article?
I mean, it's in the article. It's not if you just go to it's on the Daily Mail. So.
This is phenomenal. Big black cock fucking my throne, jeez.
Well, we're gonna get put in some kind of SEO shit because of just talking about it.
I'm just sort of see like what's like. What is by P?
What? By what?
Go scroll down in the story. You've got the story up, right?
Yeah.
Scroll down past the one chick passed out on the bed, and then look. It says by PAWG, and then
Pog.
Yes, and then
she's making a Poggers face. Did Pog exist in 2018? I don't think so.
No.
P8 white girl. WG probably white girl. PA. What would that stand for?
I have no idea. Well, it's dick, obviously. Oh, it's slut. There we go. Sorry, it took me a moment to...
What is in that mean? It's some...
I have no idea what BIPOC means.
I mean, like... What does it stand for?
How did he look up specific regions?
I have no idea. I would imagine that WG stands for white girl, but I have no clue what PA stands for. I don't know, chat.
There's someone called Slim Goody.
Also, holy shit. Animation Unlimited for 7,500 Krona says, my last super chat post. Thank you so much, man. When people bring up incest as an equally valid reason to abort, as struggle snuggle, it's really insulting to people in incest relationships and reminds me of the backwards attitudes that homosexuality is always children loving. Hang on a minute. Incest as an equally valid reason to abort, as struggle snuggle, these are the people in incest Well, I think incestuous relationships are kind of messed up, my dude. So, yeah. I know where you're coming from with people who equate all homosexuality to pedo stuff. And thank you for the money.
I'm not sure what to make of that.
I don't think comparing it to incest. And I get what you mean, but abortion struggle cycle, but incest is not the same as incest, but I don't.
I can't tell if that's a troll or not.
Really weird and messed up.
That could be a troll, by the way.
No, that's for a decent amount of money, man. Like that's
a good troll. That's what makes it funny.
I mean, if you did anyway. Thanks, animation. Either way, I'm not sure I agree. I'm pretty sure I don't agree, but thank you either way. And your negative for 5 says they called Brandon's son the achievement hunter. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And I have so no idea about the POG thing either. But this stuff, what I think a lot of these are acronyms for things like what's ATL Atlanta, ATL thought swallowing my ATL. Who knows? I don't know.
Where do you see ATL?
It was right. It's in that same picture right above the POG. It's
literally
right
ATL
above POG.
Thought.
ATL POG swallowing my D.
No, it says ATL thought swallowing my...
Yeah, I don't know what ATL is, though. That's what I'm asking.
Oh.
Is it Atlanta? Well, he looks up what Annapolis.
Yeah,
So
that's
he,
what I'm
like,
saying. He's looking up places, which is
which is
weird.
really weird. Yeah, what?
Mom
Well,
agrees to
fun.
suck off her. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got to be cracked out of his mind by looking up half this stuff, right? Like,
This is
look,
really weird. Homemade
he
45-year-old. Why is there an age?
Look at this one. A regular Internet Explorer research or Internet Explorer search girl, then Google search girl nude, and then he realized that he could go to porn. He's got to just be completely out of it, right?
This is fantastic. This
seems like the behavior of someone who's not in reality. Oh my.
The fact that he shared this with his father is a bit
Well, he's just shared a regular link. From what I saw in the screenshot, it was just a regular link to Pornhub. It wasn't to anything in specific. But
that
still,
doesn't make me feel any better about it.
I can't imagine. I mean, oh my god. Okay, are you aware of this like weird shit that women do at bachelorette parties, where they'll even like just all penises everywhere and stuff? I mean, I know that there's stag parties as well too, but like the dicks everywhere, and I find that so fucking weird because a lot of times it's not just bachelorette parties. Sometimes it's like mom is there for some of these pre-wedding parties and stuff, and it's so weird.
He's got almost 2,000 subscribers.
Well, I guess somebody was interested.
He's got 700. Yeah, because it's the fucking president's son. You probably would watch it just for like, is that fucking Hunter? No fucking way.
Oof.
So let's see. And
Animation Limited, children born out of distant relative relationships are more healthy than children from non-relative relationships. I am actually aware of those data, but we're talking about not what people are normally talking about when they say incest. You're talking about second cousins and stuff, which I also find weird, but if you have a smaller population, understandable. When people say incest, they usually don't mean like my third cousin.
Wait, is this profile still up on Pornhub?
That'd be amazing if it is.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on stream, but I kind of want. I'm genuinely curious if it's actually there.
Don't pull it up on
No,
stream.
I'm not going to do it on stream,
No,
but I'm genuinely curious if it's there. Oh god, this is fucking ridiculous.
In one embarrassing post-coital moment, the disheveled Hunter grimaces, then leans to the left and farts audibly. I can't.
A video on his laptop in which he recorded his screen shows him logging into his Pornhub account and searching for his videos. I don't know.
That's so weird. It's so
But he recorded his
weird.
screen showing him logging into the account. Why? Why would you do that?
Because he's drunk out of his mind. It's gotta be it. Like, I don't get it.
He navigates to his own profile. The page says that he's watched 3,631 videos.
Yeah.
God damn, alright.
Look
it up, Spoon, for science. No, I'm not looking it up.
You know, why are you encouraging him? Why are you encouraging this degeneracy?
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would want to just to see what kind of stupid shit he was doing.
Oh, just for research purposes, right?
I'm not gonna crack one out to him if that's what you're asking.
Ew, who would? Ew, like for real.
I just want to laugh. I just want to laugh about it.
Yeah,
It's probably
I'd like
really
to...
fucking funny.
Speaking of the Bidens,
I know I am not the only one who just thought to look that up, because he probably like look at it like, what the fucking hell has he been doing? Because that's the main thing. You would look and see like, what the fuck has he been up to? Like, what is the stupid shit? Because like it's a gold mine of like smearing material.
I'm saying there's a pretty good brief of it, including him in his briefs in that Daily Mail article.
But that picture is like comedy though.
The one with him, the scarf.
Yeah, the sunglasses scarf. Like, it just looks fucking funny.
Hang on, can I? It should be okay to play this really quick clip. If I can find it.
Why is he wearing the shoes?
I don't know. It's so weird.
And you know it's really great. It's all matching.
Can I find this? Okay.
He's wearing white braids with Adidas shoes and a red scarf. What the fuck?
I gotta find that
Why?
It reminds me of this. I'm gonna study something. It's got a
gosh.
here. Actually, hang on. I didn't set up a watch together because I don't think we're watching anything today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do have one thing. Let me set it up.
Here,
Just
give me a second.
I don't know what's happening. But I just wanted to play a meme anyway. Spoon? He's disappeared. Well, chat, it's just us now. Spoon's gone. What are we gonna do? Well, Dira Fitty for 5 says the NHS in the UK is having problems with the medical costs of birth defects due to the first cousins relationship in the immigrant community. Yeah, I've heard about that. And that, again, the first cousin stuff, and that's not just a problem in the UK. We've known about that for a while in a lot of Middle Eastern countries,
I'm
where it
just
tends to
kind of
be.
laughing at the absurdity of the stream. What are you guys doing? We're looking up the porn history of the vice president's son.
of the
former vice president's son. Yeah.
But you see a lot of genetic defects in a lot of Middle Eastern countries where marrying your first cousin is still fairly normative. I've sent you the watch together because I got a little meme for you to play. And tell me that you're not reminded of this once I show it.
Who has said?
Huh?
The rapidity is running.
Yes.
NHS in the UK is having problems with
Just
the
read it, yeah.
medical costs of birth
Okay.
defects due to first cousins relationship in the immigrant community. I'm assuming those are the Pakistanis because their incest count is really fucking high.
It's not just in the UK; it's in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries too, because it's much more normative there to. For
Oh,
cousins
no
to
wonder
get
they're
married.
pro-choice.
All right, I sent you the link to the.
I
watch
feel like that's
together.
less of a joke and that's just accurate.
It's not a joke. That's
No,
that's a
I
real
know
problem.
that. No, I mean the abortion joke.
Oh,
What am I watching?
I have a meme, and tell me you're not reminded of this of Hunter by this clip.
Oh God, yes.
Do you know what I mean? let me go to the scene.
That looks like Hassan Piker on the side.
A little bit. He's not the scene I wanted to get to though, but if you could pull it up so everyone
Yeah,
can watch
okay.
it.
All right, I got it up here.
Okay, it's right after this, but I'm because it's we can just play. I don't want to play the whole thing because it might get copyrighted.
That does look like. You know what that guy looks like? That looks like if Alec Baldwin and Hassan Piker had a kid.
A little bit. Hang on. It's right after this. You'll see what I'm talking about with the Hunter's red scarf.
Oh, go on.
Some gay couple. Oh, excuse me. Can I do this? Or do I look like some sort of gay superhero?
That was all I wanted to play. Do I look like some kind of gay superhero?
You know what's really weird though is even though he says that, he doesn't sound gay. It's kind of
Well,
weird.
it's Sir Patrick Stewart, although he's got some, he has got some political beliefs I'm not quite fond of, but alas, I still.
You know what? The way he says that, it still sounds like he's saying something that the words are gay, but the accent does not sound gay.
The words are
So
gay.
can I pull this
Okay.
off, or does it sound kind of gay? It
Do I look
just-
like some kind of gay
yeah, it
superhero?
sounds weird. Like you don't sound. What you're saying is clearly gay, but the voice and the inflection does not sound gay. It's throwing me off in a loop. Very
That's
strange.
because it's Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
But since we're talking about the Bidens,
Yeah.
we have to talk about
And
how
they're
Joe himself is not doing great either.
oh my god. I said this before. The one thing you gotta like about Joe Biden, and like this would be funny if it wasn't tragically destroying the fucking country and to a lesser extent the
Yeah.
Western Hemisphere, is
But again, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry.
yeah. But I've said this before in a previous article, and this is why I stopped reading left-leaning shit. There's this weird pattern that I've noticed with lefty writers. They contradict themselves in their writing a lot lately, and I mean, like literally within paragraphs. Yeah, like lately it's well more frequently in a way. Maybe it's because I haven't read any lefty crap for a while.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
it
that
was-
might be it.
Yeah, 'cause-
you started reading more of it when we started doing this show more. You started doing YouTube more. Then
Yes.
you get exposed to more of it, and you go, "Wait a minute, You can't be cogent for 2 sentences.
I had to stop reading stuff because it was making me upset. I had to, like, because people who watch my content for a while, I haven't done a news article in a while because I couldn't read stuff on a daily basis. It was driving me nuts. It was just pissing me off. Because I would just read this crap and go, who the fuck is reading this shit? Like, it's completely contradictory. It makes no sense, and their ideas are backwards. And
that's why it's fun when we read it together, because then we can laugh about it. But, you know, yeah, it's difficult to read alone and just sit there and be like, because you just sit there and you
fume,
like,
yes.
Yeah, and it gives you a headache. You're like, how? How can you be so dumb?
Yes, like, who is reading this shit? Like, how do you not see this contradiction? God, I hate everyone. And then I storm off. Or that I would just...
Look, if narrative matters more to you than reality, then it doesn't matter if you contradict
You just
yourself every
described
5
the whole
seconds.
political wing.
I described, well, I think
Yes.
both sides of the political aisle can be that way, obviously. But the left is currently I'm inundated with it.
Yeah,
to
the
a point where
left
it's
is
very...
Well, the left's entire philosophy of the political ethos is based around it, which is insane. Because you can't make up an entire political philosophy that is based on you need to not adhere to reality. That sounds, well, suicidal, really.
Saying that you're the party of science and data and facts,
Yes.
unless they're facts. That
We
don't
are
align
the
with our
party of
beliefs.
science. What is a woman? We can't tell you that. It's like, oh,
Did you see Vosh's tweet about that?
No, obviously not.
Yeah, he's.
Did you know
gone
that
off
Jordan
about
Peterson
recently as well.
follows him?
Huh?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson follows him.
Yeah, probably just to watch what he's doing, but
that's the reason why
said,
Jordan Peterson is feeling so shit about Twitter, because you follow Vosh, Dr. Peterson.
He
Don't
said-
follow him.
He said, given the What is a Woman movie coming out, I think it's important to remember that a conservative has never given a good answer to that question either. Adult, human, female. That's the answer.
Vosh, if you ever hear this, let me just say this for you. You're a fat, bearded retard. That's all I have to say on that. And yes, we have. And I
mean, like,
I don't
or-
even think
or-
that one's efficient. I don't actually
Or if
think
you wanna
that
be-
the human female is efficient.
And if you want to be more precise, adult, human, female, meaning someone with 2 X chromosomes.
No, that's not good enough.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
what else do you what's a real answer you want at that point?
Well, mine?
No, I'm saying for him, if he is not, because I'm guessing those are the answers he's gotten. Is
my
2
one.
X chromosomes or adult, human, female.
My one is human born with the genitals that facilitate the birthing process.
Sure.
That's
You can
female.
put that in there too.
Yes,
Yeah.
because this facilitates, because people you get the. I was almost gonna say, hold on a second.
And you can
Wait,
that would include
hold on.
sure.
Wait, hold on. Let
Uh-huh.
me just mute this just so you can hear this phrase.
Uh-huh.
It's because they say, like, oh well, if a woman goes through menopause and she can't give birth, is she no longer a woman? Like, oh, shut up, you disingenuous twats.
Well, okay,
No, obviously
right,
not.
But if a woman goes through menopause, she still has 2 X chromosomes.
Yes, but this is why I say with the genitals that facilitate the birthing process, because they don't need to function.
And then they'll point out the
there's still
points,
there's still the organs that facilitate the birthing process. Whether or not they can give birth is not the point. The fact that they are there is what makes you female.
and they'll point out the 0.01% of the population that's intersex.
Oh, shut up.
And it's like, okay, but
I hate that argument.
why are we concerned with the fraction of 1% of the population to this degree where it's
does this
being
thing
discussed
work
as
for
a international issue?
Yes, like does this thing work for the 99.99999% of people? Yes. It doesn't work for the 0.0000001, and therefore it is no longer relevant. Like, just shut up.
I mean,
you
I
daft git.
it would be like designing society around the small fraction of the population that's born with any other severe genetic defect.
We're
right?
currently doing that right now.
What, by talking about the left?
I was thinking about the Rainbow Coalition. Because they're very fun to troll on Twitter, by the way, because they really take the bait.
You're not allowed to troll them because
I trolled them yesterday for like an hour. I trolled with a friend of mine, by the way.
And then you got banned.
No, but that's not no. But that's not why I got banned. It was an innocuous comment that had nothing to do with that. That was the funny part, because I thought that it's probably because that's something I said in that like 2-hour troll.
Well,
and
you
that
were arguing with someone with a bunch of trans stuff in their profile for.
Oh yeah, I
hours.
was. Yeah, but that actually wasn't the thing that got me kicked off. That's why I thought it was funny. Because
Well,
I
the thing
thought
that
when I logged
trolls
in
you
and
is
I
that
looked at it, it was like, whoa, shit, this is what got me kicked off.
that person was probably spam reporting your account, like, and Twitter just picked one, you know?
Oh, well, that's because
so this is the reason why.
I've noticed something. They're very quick to block you. That was my goal.
Yeah.
Because
they tend to be.
Yeah, because there was someone else who was trolling me with them, or trolling them with me, and he said, I messaged him after a while, like, you're gonna piss these people off to the point that they're gonna block you. And he went, oh, they're still going, that they blocked me, and that was what I was going for. Because I've been blocked by like 3 people. Like every time I had a discussion with people of this coalition, there was always a block at some point, and the fact that I wasn't getting blocked by these people was pissing me off. Like, I've had a pretty good record, and you.
Huh?
There we go. You're ruining it for me. By the way, if you don't hear what I'm saying, it's because I'm saying trans and then the F word.
He's saying naughty words.
Yes.
So wait, is it a permanent suspension or is it a temporary one that you got?
I think it's permanent, probably.
No.
I filed a complaint because what I said to them is, well, you can't kick me off for that because I wasn't violating any standards. Because I wasn't. Saying that explains the AIDS count is not offensive. That's just factual.
Well, I don't really care about that stuff, but we'll see, I guess.
But I mean, like, you can't give me crap for saying that's violating anything because there's no. I am correct, damn it. Don't you disagree with me? Because I am always getting
I'm telling you that this was always going to be. I told you from the second you got back on Twitter, and you were immediately spicy. I said, "Well, count down till banning."
It is my goal, as well as my YouTube account, is to say spicy things, and if it gets especially spicy, then I will link to a version of it on BitChute and Rumble. Because on Rumble, I can say the F word and still get monetized.
Well, good for Rumble, I guess.
By the way, if I can get more money going off Rumble than I do on YouTube, then I will move my account exclusively on Rumble, and then I will say spicy things on a daily basis because I really enjoy saying the F word. Because no, it's not because, like, I don't know about you guys. Do you guys remember, like, not even 10 years ago, I would say, the F word just meant people who were like attention seeking who got on your nerves,
or just anybody. Yeah, you're being lame. Yes. It was. But now, of course, it's absolutely not acceptable, not at all.
But I hate it because this word hasn't meant gay for like a decade, and then suddenly people go, "Oh well, we're just going to co-opt that word because it's useful for our oppression narrative." It's like, what the fuck, you absolute word?
Yeah, it is a slur. It is a slur. But,
Yeah, but it's not meant for that community. It's meant for people who got on my fucking nerves. You just happen to be gay and get on my fucking nerves.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to do that on Twitter.
And you're specific. Also, and you being gay and behaving in a stereotypical way is a thing that happens to get on my fucking nerves. The fact that I'm calling you that isn't because you're gay. It's just because you happen to be gay and also get on my fucking nerves. Am I the only one who feels this way?
Oh, Hasidus for 5 says, when it comes to categories of people, the left uses the exception to defy and define the rule. Yeah, that does seem to be the trend is, well, I found one person who meets this definition. However, the curious other side of that is that then if you find people who are, let's say, detransitioners, and you go, well, here, look, there's hundreds of these young people who are saying, they were tricked into transitioning, or they were bullied, or they were, really pressured into transitioning, and now they want to detransition. They go, well, that's just a small fraction of a percentage. Like, we're already talking about a very small fraction of a percentage of people.
Oh,
when you
God,
want to redefine gender, you want to look at less than 1% of the population, far less than 1% of the population. But for whatever reason, when we're talking about detransitioners, well, that's just a small fraction. We don't have to care about what they have to say. That seems like you're picking and choosing, not based on reality, not based on anything other than trying to move a political goal. And I find that, frankly, pretty grotesque.
I love how if you just say gamer words, the entire chat just spontaneously starts writing them in single letters. Chat, you are very bad people, and I'm very proud. Well done. Don't ever change.
Speaking of bad people, this conservative brief report on Biden, because he's been...
Oh yeah, I actually should read this. Someone said, Spoon, here is an F-word pass from a cigarette.
Oh, thank you, Jarnagi.
Oh, are you actually gay so I can say that word? Oh. See, like, that guy's cool. Like, if you're gay and you're just in, like, I don't give a shit. Well, you're fine.
Again, it's frustrating because it was sort of an issue, and definitely was an issue in the past where, gay people got killed for being gay. They really did.
Yeah,
And
the
now,
Grand Days.
and now it's. I know you're joking, but
I
like,
know.
and now the way things are is that you can't even if you make somebody in the Rainbow Coalition feel bad. Now they can sit there and insult you.
Thank you for using my phrase, by the way.
Damn day, all goddamn day. They can say horrible shit about you, and that's all fine. But if you just
Do you know why I'm not that
anything.
bothered by that?
Why that they have special treatment?
No, it's because I don't consider them real people.
Oh, come on.
And also, do you know what's really messed up? Like,
I'm
especially
bisexual, dude. Well, it's not a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal.
That just
but
means
people
you're
are
heartbroken.
people are taking this element of their lives and they've made it, and the way that
The core aspect of their being, yeah.
all of the activism that happened towards this in the 90s and the 2000s was, well, we just want to be treated equal to everybody else. It turned out, no, you don't want to be treated equally
You want
to
to be
everybody else.
privileged. Yeah.
You want to have special treatment. It's the same thing with women, and it's that
You want to be
this
special. Yeah.
And this Johnny Depp trial is really case in point of that is that women didn't just want to be treated the same as men. No, women want special treatment. They want to be a special class. People like Amber Heard want to be able to go out there and call somebody a horrible abuser and claim to be a victim and not be held to any standard of evidence because listen and believe all women. Guess what? I think that freaking trend is over now. If it's not over, it's dying. Because the queen, the face of DV, according to the ACLU, just got found by a jury of her peers to have been defamatory and that stuff. Yeah, pretty much. So that's my problem with the rainbow people in terms of you don't want to be equal.
Goddamn,
you want to be special, and that's a problem. If you want to be equal, I want you to be equal as well. I don't want you to have special, unique, privileged treatment. Anywho.
But society's always gonna have that.
To a degree, yeah, that's pretty much inevitable.
Like if you're pretty, you're gonna get treated better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but you know, that's not. That's the way society. Hang on, but that's a function of society that you can't really legislate on.
Yeah,
they are legislating on treating gay people, on treating women, etc., on treating people of color differently, and that's.
Can I just say I'm not actually all that bothered about the pretty people getting treated better.
I mean, smart people get treated better. So
yeah, but I'm not just saying that because I happen to be pretty. Thank God for that. Good genes. No, but it's because like if you see a woman who's in better shape, you will treat her better, and I think you should. I think people who are in better shape deserve to be treated better because they take better care of their bodies, and that shows a sign of self-respect. And for that, you should be treated better.
But that's up to other individuals to make that decision.
Yeah, but like if I see someone who's grossly overweight, I'm disgusted because my mind goes, you don't care about how you treat your own body, and that offends me.
It doesn't offend me.
What
I would say is that why should I have to care about you so much? Why should I have to bend over backwards for you if you're not willing to even put in the effort to take care of yourself? You know, that I do find annoying. I mean, if you don't care about yourself, why am I supposed to care about you so much if you don't care about you?
Yes.
You know?
Someone said Alan Turing was a decent guy. Alan Turing, was he the guy who did the
basically
no, Alan Turing was the guy who was the guy, he invented the machine who decoded the Nazi code.
Enigma machine, yeah.
Yes.
So and yeah,
that was a good movie, by the way.
I've not seen the movie about it.
Was it the imitation? What was it? What was the movie with Alan Turing? Was it Imitation Game?
Didn't Alan Turing kill himself out of
he
stigma
committed
for
suicide.
being?
Yeah,
it's
terrible. Because he was on heroin. It was on hormones or some other treatment. Was it the Imitation Game? With the. I think that was the name of the film.
I didn't see the movie, but
it's a really good movie, by the way.
School, you know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to take hormones for
cyanide poisoning.
Sad ending.
Oh yeah, that's terrible, and that's awful. It was a brilliant man killed himself, and I think part of that was the stigma of being gay in the early 1900s, and that's awful. But we're in a very different time now.
The scene where they crack the code is really, really good.
I may have seen that movie at some point, actually, maybe back in the day.
Yeah, Enigma was the code used by the Nazi machines.
Yes. What was I saying? Oh, the Biden article.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, but the bit where they're in a bar and he like gets really loud and he just says, he asked one of the girls, like how do you know this? And she says, well, he always starts his letters with the same phrase, like Heil Hitler. And then then he runs up to the machine and it just says, what if we don't have to look for everything? Like what if we have to look for a code that we know is going to be with every letter? And so they punch in Heil Hitler and they end up cracking the code.
Maverick626 says that's supposed to be the origin for Apple's logo. That's why it's a rainbow apple with a bite in it. That'd be interesting. I've never heard that. But yeah, he's considered the father of modern computing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just the Enigma machine was essentially a basic computer.
There were really funny moments in that film where he says
like
he doesn't want to work with anyone else because they'll just slow him down.
I mean, and that's again a genius. So it's a terrible.
That's like an autistic move, just like, you're just too stupid to deal with me. Like
he was chemically castrated for being gay. See, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's horrible that happened to him. And it's luckily we've moved beyond that, but we've moved so far beyond where I think anybody reasonable can say, okay,
he died in like the 50s.
These were horrible things.
Didn't he?
Yeah. Yes. But these were horrible things that happen. And we shouldn't allow them to happen in society. But we've done this big 180 where now, you turn back around and go, well, now we need to, there seems to be an animus within a lot of the rainbow community of, it's not just enough that we should be equal and not even enough that we should have greater privileges. It's that we need to punish people who are not part of our
coalition,
of our community or whatever. And so then, of course, you have young kids, teenagers, etc., and even older people who go like, well, if I just say I'm gay, if I just say I'm trans, or actually, come out as trans or whatever, then I'm going to get special privileges. I'm going to be the love bombing thing is a huge issue, I think, within
the what?
Love bombing, or not aware with what this is.
No, it sounds really gay.
So, yeah. So what love bombing is it's a tendency that happens in a lot of these schools, by the way, but it happens throughout trans communities where it's a
love bombing sounds like a friendly name for an orgy.
It's a soft form of psychological manipulation where if you come out as trans, like particularly on the internet in places like Twitter or on Tumblr, if you say, hello, I'm coming out as trans, people will they'll shower you in love and affection and go, oh, it's all, aren't you amazing? It's you're the best person ever. Yay, we love you so much. And particularly young people experience this and go, it's very persuasive. It's very persuasive because they feel all of this love and all of this attention for what they've done. And that can be addictive. Oh, well, now I want more love. I want more love. And it's a kind of love that regular people don't get in their daily life because that doesn't happen to people. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen to regular people where...
So you get praised for being a freak, essentially.
You get praised for existing and saying you are something. For not doing anything, just for being... Yes, it is creepy, and it's a form of grooming. And so that's one of the reasons why you end up with all... Yes, it's dopaminergic, Lego my ego. It's dopaminergic action where this happens, and particularly with these young kids, these teachers who've come out, who've been criticized for the grooming, they straight up say it. They're like, yeah, when my kids tell me that they're gay, I shower them in praise and I tell them how happy and proud I am of them. And in their heads, they're thinking, oh, that's as good so that they feel accepted. Yeah, well, it's also love bombing, okay? It's
Do you know what I think would have been extremely helpful for me as a kid?
What?
If someone told me this, the vast majority of everyone around you are completely stupid fucking idiots. Don't be like them. I would have been a significantly more well-adjusted kid if someone just said that to me as a kid. If someone just said, don't try and fit in, because everyone in society that accomplishes something, that is a genius, that is in any way legions above the rest, they're not like everyone else. The best people in society are the freaking weirdos and the outcasts and the misfits. So if you happen to feel like this, there's probably good things in your
Yes,
future.
that's true, but it's really easy to say that, even if it's correct, and if it's true, it's really easy to say that to a kid, but then a kid really who's going through all the changes with their hormones in their body,
but I'm saying
and they just
if
want to be
I was
accepted.
told that as a kid, I would have been better off.
You maybe, but but I think that and that might be helpful for some kids, but I think the vast majority of kids, they just want to fit in, they just want to be accepted, particularly when you're going through puberty, they just want to be normal or accepted. And now normal's not normal, normal is not popular, so to be accepted, normal is unaccepted. So to be accepted, you have to be abnormal.
Yeah,
And
but I took that and ran with the
how
other
you
way.
experience.
Everyone ran with like the freaky left wing, and I'm like, you are all cringe and gay and stupid. I'm gonna embrace being a monarchist.
Well, I mean,
because that's what, like, where all the because I discussed this because I actually want to do a video on the monarchical ideas, and the point I wanted to make is, if you are a true right winger, you embrace ideas. No,
Okay.
no, I mean like a true right winger.
I'm just
No, like, and I mean this in because like
okay.
Eric van Corneliden describes himself as
Yes.
a far right liberal.
Yes.
Because he says that if you're a true right winger, the idea of ideas being struck down with antiquity is an absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
That you embrace any idea regardless of time, because the main thing you're concerned with is effectiveness. And I 100% agree with that idea. Because the main thing people think of when you mention monarchy is like, well, that's old. Well, who gives a shit? I don't care if it's old. Does it work? That's the main thing. Like you don't embrace modernity just because it's new. It could be shit. We go, things are in the past are ineffective. Says fucking who? There's a lot of the stuff that we have right now that could be solved by going back to old fucking ideas, like tradition. You don't just get rid of them because, oh, look, that's antiquated. Who gives a shit? Does it still work? Yes.
Well,
then why the fuck you get rid of it for?
Yeah, but that's the whole idea. Is that if it's old, therefore it's bad, etc., etc. Yeah.
No, that's gay.
It's not. It's a fallacy argument. It doesn't necessarily like that. Again, that's based on that belief of the long march through history. That history is always better or things are always better in the future than they were in the past.
Yeah, that's
totally
bullshit.
But that's part of sort of the modern liberal belief system is that that liberalism and democracy is a part of that.
No, that's shit.
Constant march forward. That is a completely fundamentally bizarre assertion.
Communism can work if we were all
true,
machines, by the way.
But because also in the past there have been periods of time that were better or worse. It didn't always march in a singular direction towards progress. I think maybe they would contend that the march towards progress only really starts after you get to, the post-enlightenment or enlightenment period. But I'm not really sure that's accurate either.
I'm going to say something.
I know for a fact it's not accurate, but I don't think you can make an argument.
The Enlightenment was a mistake. There,
I think when I agree with you, so there are a lot of flaws in the Enlightenment. I think anyone being reasonable or rational could point out that
it doesn't involve an ethic. That's the problem. People think just cold hard logic is enough to make a society, and that's not true.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with Scrump about that.
Yeah.
And he said that with the Randian idea is that it doesn't have an ethic. It just assumes that like the post kind of Second World War is enough to carry you through. And evidently that is not the case. And this is an interesting point he's raised with Mises, because I was watching Yaron Brook with Michael Malice and Lex. And he also said that if you look at like the old school libertarian ideas that Ludwig bases his ideas on, is that there's a certain relationship of men and women at the time when he wrote his sort of thesis for society. And that's an important distinction, is the fact that men and women had a specific role. That men were men
and that's
women
purely
were
erased.
Yes, and like, if you're a libertarian and you wish to adopt these ideals, like, you need to realize that this is a relationship between men and women that made these ideals possible. Like, you can't do modernity feminism with old school liberalism. Like, it doesn't work. It's not compatible. You need, like, people may not like to hear this, but you need a society where men rule and women know when to shut the fuck up and know their place. That sounds really antiquated to people out there, but this is how society functions. And you can't diminish this role of men. This is how men work. This is their role. And if you abandon their role in society for some bullshit liberal fantasy idea that in no way gels with reality, this isn't going to work. So you need to have a conversation with You need to have a nuclear family. The man is to be in charge, and the woman needs to be the caretaker. And people think, oh, look, this is all what women are good for. Like, no, this is what you are biologically designed for. Men are bigger, men are stronger, men are smarter. They're your provider. Like, your job is to look for a man that gives you this thing.
We have to recognize, and that's one of the things that's been forgotten, is that there are biological differences between men and women, and that because there are biological differences between men and women, that also means that the way that men and women have developed in the society, as via a product of evolution, is going to provide us with different roles that we play in that society, and that's normal and natural, and it doesn't mean there won't be outliers. And that's the one thing that always drives me nuts. No, it's not bad, and obviously it developed that way for a reason.
Yes,
wasn't out. I mean, I think that some of the people on the left will say, "Oh, it just randomly happened." No, it happened because is evolution random now? Because excuse me, because that's your argument. If it just randomly we did all this stuff I thought you were this party of science. No, we didn't just develop these norms, because you find them. They take shape in different ways across human cultures, but you find the same roles, more or less. Oh, but we've had this one small tribe in the middle of nowhere in Borneo that's different. It's like, okay, but that's the exception to the rule. It goes back to that thing we were talking about earlier, as was brought up, which is that the left will find some small, tiny example that goes against what seems to be a rule, and then goes, well, there's the example of how that's not a rule. Again, I thought you were the party of science. I thought you were the people who liked science. You're talking about statistical outliers, and you're using them in place of statistical averages. In statistics and science and mathematics, you don't look you don't look at the outlier. You look at the mean. Unless you're specifically interested in studying the outlier, and then you look at it. But that's for a different reason, not for trying to understand human psychology, human sociology, etc., etc. Anyway,
staring at the
shall we move on to Biden rattled? His approval numbers sinking lower than.
Oh yeah, because this is really funny.
This is hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm gonna if you don't mind, I'm gonna rest my voice for a second because it's starting to crack up. If you'll then do the honors, sir.
Yeah, I will read this in a whimsical manner. Biden rattled.
Wait a minute, in a whimsical manner. Do you want to do it in Johnny Depp's voice?
You want me to read in that accent?
No. Just do it. No, do it whimsical.
Biden rattled. His approval numbers sinking lower.
That might be hard to understand since it's a drunk voice. But yeah, just.
I can read a drunk voice and sound coherent. How dare you?
Okay, whichever you prefer.
Yes. Then Trump said he's really twisted about it. I wonder why. Let's see. President Stuart Biden. I refuse to call him a president because he's not the fucking president. Let's be honest.
You can just do what Crowder does and call him former Vice President Joe Biden.
Well, he's a steward. Like I was watching bits of Lord of the Rings, and so much of the Lord of the Rings is an adequate timeline for our current reality. Like, all joking aside, like if you look at Denethor, he's a steward. He's not really the king of Gondor, and everyone knows it. And I won't say Aragorn is Trump, but he kind of is, because everyone knows that Denethor is not the king of Gondor, and everyone knows Biden is not really the president of the United States. He behaves like someone who isn't really. Like, the way that he's reading off a teleprompter, he's got people constantly interrupting him, saying what he really means. Like, you can't look at this situation and think, he's not the guy in charge. Someone else is.
Obviously,
we don't know who, but it's just really weird. And something is off. Like, you just pay attention to how he behaves and the mannerisms, and it's like, something is wrong here. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's very clearly something is. It's like you're looking for something, like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but if I find it, then I'll see it. He's kind of like an inversion of that. It's like, I know what I'm looking for, but this isn't it. That's kind of how you look at his presidency.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
this ain't it, Chief, right?
Yes. Like, what's a president like? I don't know, but I know this isn't it. This is.
I mean, no. It's everything is so off the rails, right?
Yes.
With and this little bit about involving the AIDS and this stuff, is a perfect, again. there's a perfect exemplar every week. We've been doing this now for like 5 months, and every single week, it's a new. What did Biden do this week that's unhinged and bizarre?
Yeah, someone said Arden said Biden is Theoden. Like,
yeah,
no, because Theoden, there's good in Theoden. There's no good in Biden. That's the thing.
Arguable as well. Yeah,
Biden is just a senile fucking moron. Like, you can't pull Biden away and then suddenly he's going to be a good president. That's not.
There never was any good in Biden. He's been a career politician who's flip-flopped on everything that he claims to have ever believed.
Yes.
This is the racial jungles guy who is now like all BLM kind of stuff. This guy does not believe in anything he says. He's completely up for sale.
Yes, like he originally ran in the president in the 80s, and he resigned from the race himself because he was found to be lying constantly and making shit up and embellishing his own records.
And he stole other people's speeches.
Yes, Neil Kinnock's one is the one that he stole. Yeah, and he's still doing that now. He's bullshitting constantly.
He's never. The only thing that's changed about Biden is his capacity to be slightly coherent. He used to be just vicious and coherent, and now he is vicious and incoherent.
It's kind of weird because Clinton does the same thing. Like, she also lies constantly to make herself look good. But with Biden, it's more just like, what are you doing? Like, your lying isn't even good. It's just...
Again, I don't think he is aware.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he comes across as just a senile moron. And the lying is just... Well, he's got a history of it, but with his age, it just comes across in a sad way. Like, you're lying... Why? Like, you're just shit. You're a miserable president. You're failing horribly. You're gonna go down as economically as the worst president ever. And like, there's nothing about you that is in any way good. Your entire family's fucked up. Your kid is like fucking whores looking up Pornhub. Your entire family name is fucking disgraceful. If you've got an incestuous relationship in the family, you like sniff kids. Like, you're a degenerate fucking family. Like, you make the old incestuous monarchs look quite tame.
And I mean, like, again, the family stuff is, it just gets worse. Every day, it seems to get worse. It's like, every week, it's like, well, what weirdness is going to come out about the Bidens this week? But again, this article is fairly interesting.
Okay, I'll read it now. President Joe Biden's approval rating has been in a freefall for nearly a year. I would argue ever since he's in office that happened, by the way. Now reaching a level that is below that of his predecessor. To which we go, ha 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 ha. And now he's reportedly not very happy about it. This is what happens when you literally walk into office and go, everything with Trump's name we're just going to rip out. Which is literally what he did.
And that's what they did.
Yes.
And by the way, I will say, to be fair, that's not completely unusual. Because, by the way, it's one of the reasons why you and I have problems with democratic systems. It's because then you just change out and you go like, well, remember everything that the other person did? It doesn't matter if people liked it or not. We're getting rid of all of that, or to the best of our capacity, we're going to get rid of it.
Do you know what bugs me about that the most? And tell me if you agree with this, because I think this is how you know the system is severely rigged. I don't mean in the election sense. I mean just the government apparatus is clearly just devoted to an ideological machine that just, because I said, for one thing, everyone that you elect into office or that is put on the ballot is you're brought up by somebody else's money, and it keeps going through the same institutions. So you're not really electing a president because you're still selecting from like the same fucking company every fucking time that when you elect a president. And the other thing is, if you look at the people who come into office and they just crack out the previous guy's name, and then they just rip. The previous guy did this, so we'll just destroy everything, and then just.
I mean,
but
that's what Obama did. Yeah, that's what Biden did.
Yeah, but here's the point I'm trying to make. This is how you know.
Trump did to a degree as well, by the way.
Yeah, but Trump actually made it better.
Trump did the same. He was less, I would say, egregious with the executive orders than Biden.
Biden has been insanely with it.
And also, well, when Obama left, he also put in like 300 executive orders in his last week that he wrote and just like signed off on. Well, he didn't write them. He signed off.
Yeah, and then Trump just tore it to pieces because they were shit. So I can understand why Trump did it. It's because they were fucking terrible. But the
and
thing,
he put them in place to fuck up Trump. This is another thing that's become the norm, is that you write new EOs on your way out to screw up your predecessor, as long as they're of the opposite party than you. That's why, as I've said so many times, it's tyranny of the majority every single time. This is the problem with democracy. Well, we're the majority in power right now, so we're going to tyrannize the minority. And then we hand off and get to do it back and forth. That's not the way to create a healthy, sustainable, and succinct system and society that can get along with each other. At least I don't think so. I don't think being able to punch you for a week and then you get to punch me for a week is a way to make us get along very well.
Oh my God! Someone just posted something. I think it was Racking posted this. It said, illegitimate ruler, mentally confused and out of touch with reality, lost his favorite son and hates his second son for being such a screw-up, sits back and does nothing while the enemy's pounding on the gates of his nation. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yep.
That is
exactly.
That is him to a fucking T. No, but the thing that I found weird was that, and this is the thing I would have said, and this is why I said it's just a total clusterfuck of elites, is that Biden's supporters know fucking nothing about politics at all. And a lot of people who hated Trump just hated him because of his tweets, right?
His tweets and because CNN and all the mainstream. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, but here's what I'm trying to make. Is that if Biden did the exact same shit as fucking Trump, no different, the media would have kissed his fucking ass. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I think you're probably correct on that.
Yes.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you went out of your way to destroy the fucking country for no reason. You just did it to spite the previous guy, which means you're a fucking asshole.
I think so much of politics currently, if not maybe forever, is spite.
Yeah, but that tells me that you're not fucking equipped for the role. At least with a monarch, I know he's being groomed to be a competent leader. And he's actually got skin in the game because his position is lifetime. Whereas you walk in, fuck it up for 4 years, walk out unscathed because all the attention is down the next guy to fix your fuck up. What a terrible system of governance.
And Andisha, yeah, it does sound like that what I described is limited to a two-party system, but it's really not. It's always tyranny of the majority. So it's really evident in the United States because it's a two-party system. So there's only one other group to target. But the same thing happens if you have a multi-party system. Whoever gets in power ends up tyrannizing the minorities, whether it is a minority party or the multiple minority parties. And when they're not in power, the same thing happens back to them. I think that's unhealthy, and I think it's bad for society at the long term, because as we've seen over the last 50 years in particular in the US, and that's just because I have the data from the US, the amount of partisanship has increased exponentially. You look at these data and it shows that it's worse from Democrats. They won't even be friends. It's something like 80% of them, might have been 60%, in that range. 60
like not be friends with someone from the opposite aisle?
So they wouldn't even be friends with somebody, who was a Republican.
To be fair, I'm okay with that. Because they're terrible
Republicans, it was not that kind of level. They were like, no, I'd be friends with a Democrat. But Democrats are basically saying, I wouldn't date anyone who's a Republican. I wouldn't be friends with anyone who's a Republican. And it's hatred at this point, right? And that's not a healthy society.
Arden Party asked me, said, why is Russia still so prominent in the Democratic mind? Oh, because of Clinton. Because the 2016 campaign, and because they were blaming Trump for
because
Russia
they blamed Russia for everything, and that was that was their giant scapegoat. Wasn't that we could actually lose. It wasn't that we actually just weren't popular, because they just mocked Trump. They thought it was impossible for him to win. Then he did win.
I will say, in my opinion,
had to be cheating.
Yeah, I would say, if I'm going by the rhetoric of Clinton in either 2015 or 2016, where she said the nuclear option should not be off the table. When she said that,
I know,
and
jeez.
Yes, and when I was serious, one of our generals in the army said that if you wanted a no-fly zone over Syria, which is what she was pushing for, she said, if you're going to do this, you are going to need 100,000 ground troops in Syria, and you're going to go to war with Russia. And when he said that, I went, this is what Clinton is pushing for. She wants to antagonize and go to war with Russia. Yeah. So when
it seemed that way to me, at least, and then it was pushed for years afterwards, even. So
yeah, but
and now it's being pushed again.
Yeah, but this is my point: is that when Russia was blamed for Trump winning, instantly in my mind I went, the event in news in 2003 was WMDs, 9/11, and this was pushed to get public approval to go to war with Iraq. And in my mind, I instantly went, this crap with Russia is to push the approval to go to war with Russia. Instantly, I figured that in like 10 seconds. I think that's
unquestionable.
Yes.
I think that's unquestionable.
But what annoyed me is because I could figure this out. I was a foreigner watching this. I'm like, I could see through this in like 10 seconds. Who the hell? And here's the thing.
Yeah, but that actually gives you maybe a better perspective because you're not in the weeds of it. You're not in the weeds of it. You're coming at it from outside, so you can maybe see it in a way that Americans who are entrenched in it have a hard time seeing the broader picture.
But at this point in time, I wasn't I won't say a policy wonk, but I wasn't into politics as I am now. I could just see this for what it is. Like within 10 seconds, I could see like, how do you not see this? Because I went like, for goodness sake, I'm not even into politics and I can see this shit show. There's no way in hell anyone is going to buy this crap. And then like 3 years later, I'm like, holy shit. How in the name of all that is holy have the Americans bought this? I'm foreign, I could see this shit for like 10 seconds. I didn't need to be told this. This was really easy to spot. And the fact that it became so pervasive, it made me go, oh my god, either everyone else is a complete moron or I'm a genius. And I'm not a genius, so everyone else is a complete fucking moron. That is how I saw it. Because like, it was so easy to see. I couldn't believe how pervasive it was in the press when I could see this. And again, I wasn't that interested in politics at the time, and it made me go, "Oh my god, everyone is really stupid." This was like the most awakening moment for me. Was that moment? Was how pervasive this was in the press, and how unbelievably easy it was for me to spot. That was probably the biggest awakening moment that made me realize just how stupid people are. Because I couldn't believe how pervasive that narrative took hold. And it was unbelievably easy to debunk.
But people
are stupid.
People are scared. And yeah, it's not that people are stupid. It's as I always say, yeah, there are people
who
are stupid.
They're stupid, Aiden.
They're cognitive misers. They have things in their life that they want to worry about that aren't politics.
Dumb
the average person is not like, yes, but Spoon, most people are not like you and me. They don't sit around thinking about politics. I mean, I know you said you didn't that back then either, but most people just, they see this stuff on a Chiron flashback for 5 seconds. They have
but so did I
pretty much
at this time.
But they're making an instantaneous heuristic response and they go about their day. And I know that's what you said, but I think most people, because to reduce the amount of energy, the cognitive energy that they expend, they just go to what is my side, what's my party believe in, and I'll just believe whatever they tell me to believe so that they can reduce their cognitive energy expenditure and focus on that nasty Karen bitch at work who I don't like.
Maybe I'm just better at resource allocation.
Potentially.
And I don't mean that like, this is what I hated about this crap, is because I hate this is going to sound really weird coming from me because I have a very arrogant attitude overall, but I don't think of myself as very clever. Whenever I try to analyze something, I try to put myself like the position of stupid. Because when the stuff that I talk about, I don't think requires a lot of intelligence. It's just common sense. Like whenever I point something on my videos, I don't want people to think like, oh, Spoon's a genius or Spoon is clever. Like, no, Spoon can just see something that's just common sense and he's pointing it out. Like, I want to be that guy. I don't want to be people like, oh, I don't want to be revered for being clever because I don't think I'm very clever. My analysis is just, like, how do you not see this? It's very easy to spot. That's generally how I think. There's times where I just want to go like, oh my god, I'm like, I have 150 IQ and space intelligence because my god, sometimes I feel there's moments like that because it's.
Discord crashed for a minute and I came back to you just saying you had 150 IQ and space intelligence.
I don't, by the way, but there's moments where I feel like that because there's moments where I don't see how people don't see what I see because I think it's very obvious. No, but like, not... like with the gun thing, like I don't see how everyone just says like the solution is with guns and like, but but the fact that everyone is armed is not going to stop that mentality from being produced. I don't know how no one sees that. I don't get that bit. To me, it's just weird.
Like, well, okay. Again, it's a little solipsistic. Not everyone just sees things the way that you do.
I don't know why though.
Because that's how the world works. We're all individuals.
Yeah, but like, how do you not look at something and go, what is the basis of my problem? Or like,
because every single person in the world has their own giant frame of reference, not just their own psychological profile, their environmental background, their the way the communities, the societies, the environments they grew up in. No two people are identical, so of course people aren't going to say things the exact same way that you see them, even if it is, the logical way to see it. It doesn't matter. People have different perspectives. Again, that's a complete.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how people don't like. We have a problem here. What is the base?
You, Spoon.
That's because they're all stupid.
Oh my god.
I don't understand how when you have a problem, you go, what is the if I strip this down to its basic core components, what is the problem? Problem with school shooters is
a lot of times there's different ways of coming to a solution, and they're going to be different and look different. And they're going to do that.
Yeah, Robert, I'm doing this scientific method here.
But social issues are often way more complicated than just pure scientific method.
Yeah, this is like Spoon learning how humans work. Like, yeah, this is like
apparently
machine learning. I am a spoon. I have a brain of metal, which is the basic core components.
Lesson.
What is this? Yeah, it's like Spoon learning how humans work.
How the human psyche works. Yeah. God damn, dude. Like, yeah, dude, you are lacking a little theory of mind. No offense, but yeah, people aren't inside your head, so they can't understand how you think. That's metaphysically
But that's because
absurd.
I have big brain, and many people have dumb brain. Big brain is to think like small brain.
Oh my
That's
God.
my big brain take. I have big brain, people have small brain, so think like small brain.
Your perspective on things is not always inherently correct.
When you're boiling down problem solving, I'd like to think it is. And then you test it.
If you can test it, yeah, but the reality is
that's kind of how I know is
complex political things that we don't necessarily know the outcome to. Then you can't just say, yeah, I think I know how I have it all figured out and I know what's up. You can have
I don't do that. I never do that. That's the hypothesis model. It's just that boil down to is what is the problem and can I test it?
But you also can't know all of the facts about everything all the time. It's impossible.
I know that.
So you're never going to have all the data, no matter how much you do pay attention to it. So your beliefs are going to inherently be based on intuition. It doesn't matter how good your intuition has been in the past. Intuition can always be wrong because it's just based on feeling.
Oh, I know that. I take issue with the feeling part.
But it is a feeling because you can't have all the facts, so you have to rely on intuitive thought.
Well, to a point, but I think you're going to try and test it though.
Well,
or like to some deductive reasoning of some kind.
I was going to say you're talking about inductive versus deductive.
Yes, you try to be deductive. Like Mulbuck says, deductive beats inductive every time.
Sure, but you're going to have to rely on inductive if you.
At some point, yes.
In this, yeah.
But my inductive beats there.
Oh, how do we snap back to reality?
Oh, there goes gravity. And that you can test.
Call up Sean Hannity. Mom.
Oh God! Call up Sean Hannity says no one ever.
You haven't seen that version? Have you not seen that version where it's like just a bunch of different clips and it's got Trump in there going, "Call Sean Hannity." Oh my God! Can we play?
Yeah, like Charles K. Point said, like, yeah, you can't know all the facts, yes, but there's a deduction and sense that tells you something is off. Like, yeah, that's true. Like this is why the gun debate annoys me every fucking time, because like I said, it's the same formulaic approach, and the one side said ban all guns, the other side says arm everyone. Arming everyone is not going to stop the school shooter mentality. Why, you disagree with that?
We disagreed on this the other day. So yeah, well, there's been some more shootings and stuff, and now it's over. I always pronounce the name wrong. I pronounced it wrong right the first time, and now I keep getting it wrong. Ovade, this school shooting. I said that I thought that if the teachers were all armed, then it wouldn't be an issue. I think if they were all armed and they were allowed to open carry or concealed carry in the school, it wouldn't happen. I don't think. I mean, it might still happen, but I think that they. So, like first of all, this.
Or they'll shoot the teacher first because they know the teacher's armed.
What if the janitor's armed too? What if every adult in the school is armed?
Then they'll shoot all the adults.
One individual is going to take out an entire school building full of armed adults? I don't think so. I think they'd be too freaking afraid to do it.
Well, that is what you're counting on.
How about, let me ask you this question, Spoon. Why is it, and I think this is unrelated to the gun things. Unrelated to the gun thing specifically, although it is. Why is it that despite the fact that there's been plenty of access to guns in the United States for, most of the country's history, why is it that the school shooting epidemic has been basically the last 20 years?
Social media.
Let's say 30. It's been about 30 years, yeah. But since...
I think social media and feminism.
I think society is falling apart.
No, I think it's the demonization of men.
I think that's part of it as well.
I think that's the main component, to be honest.
I think the demonization of men certainly hasn't helped, but I also think that society has become so atomized. Kids feel like this is their way of getting attention. I think it's...
Yeah, that's that article that I read. Because I thought
we can get into that if you prefer to do that than the Biden article. But
I can read the Biden one. Let's see if we can get through it.
Let's get through it. We keep getting distracted. Although it's
I want to read this one bit that made me laugh, because I said before I find it weird when people contradict each other. The Columbine shooting, it was long before social media.
Yeah.
No, but no, Dan, that's true. But she asked me, why do you think it's been ramping up?
Yeah, I mean, I think social media has probably made it worse. But you didn't see school shootings. I think the total number of school shootings in the U.S. between 1900 and 1970 was like 3.
Yeah.
So what has changed? The access to guns hasn't changed.
The one guy who went to the tower and started shooting, he had a brain tumor. It's gotten
more restrictive. So the access to guns has become more restricted, and yet school shootings go up.
Yes.
Something is going on there, and it's
not
guns.
Almost like criminals don't give a shit about laws. Shocker. Yeah. Very, very
Do you want to continue with the article?
Yeah, let me see. What's more, according to NBC, is he also isn't pleased with being undermined after nearly every major policy statement he makes. I wonder why. Becoming particularly peeved by aides and underlings who quickly correct the record and explain what he really meant. The outlet reports, Biden is rattled.
AIDS spelled AIDS.
But that is how you spell AIDS.
No, I know. I'm saying not AIDS as in autoimmune deficiency.
Yeah, there we go. Biden is rattled by his sinking approval ratings and is looking to regain voters' confidence that he can provide the sure-handed leadership he promised during the campaign. People close to the president say, if you thought he was going to lead you into anything, you're a fucking moron. Except
into destruction, for sure.
Yeah, into destruction. Yeah, of course, and chaos, because he's a fucking idiot who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Crises have piled up in a way that have at times made the Biden White House look flat-footed. At times? It's been nothing but flat-footed since he fucking started. Record inflation, high petrol prices, because I refuse to say that G word. Rising COVID cases numbers. Yeah, remember when he said when this many people have died, the president should step down? And then he surpassed that by like twice as much.
Surpassed it. And yeah, I know.
Yeah, and now Texas...
Remember, it's always rules for the end. But that was a pure politics statement. You know?
Of course
it is. As everything Biden says is.
Yeah, of course, yeah. The statement is, I'm shit and useless. Or is I shit and I'm useless. Now a Texas school shooting massacre is one more horrific reminder that he has been unable to get Congress to pass legislation to curb gun violence, which is never going to happen, by the way. A, because passing the legislation is going to stop, and B, it's not the guns, it's the states society.
Are going to... Right, that's why they want to do it on a on a government or in a mass level basis. But guess what? So
it doesn't work in states where there's massive.
Let's be real. The school shootings in the UK basically don't exist. But you know what do?
Stabbings,
knife attacks, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if people who really want to do this damage, want to do these damage and do these horrific things, again, things that didn't really happen up until the 70s, right, and 80s.
but this
you didn't really see before that. But there's still, I mean, the knife violence in schools is up huge amounts in places like Scotland, where they have very strict legislation. So
they're on heroin.
But that's why I said I was in favor of constitutional carry for faculty. Because if you at least have, and it's happened time and time again, we do find that a good guy with a gun can stop a bad guy with a gun almost every time. And if these crazy people knew that and let's say it's not how the faculty, maybe do hire, armed guards for schools. As terrible as to say, I think you have to fix the societal issue. The societal issue is why it's getting this bad, but it's I don't know how you fix that in an easy way, but this is a stopgap to prevent school shootings. If you have people who are armed in the school, and if people who want to do this don't know who's armed in particular, because you have concealed carry, I think you're going to find that the incidence rates of this will drop a lot, in my personal opinion. Sorry, continue.
I have mixed feelings about that. Because I think stay whining. Am I whining? Oh, my apologies. No, whining is bad. No, I don't want to whine. I think, and this is just my perspective, I think if you went with the extreme solution on either side, you're still going to get a backlash. Because I think if you ban all guns, they're still going to kill people in a different way. And I think if you arm everyone, they're just going to find a way of killing you that doesn't involve a gun. I think they'll just start making bombs and blowing shit up.
Well, I mean, and that would be the real evil that's in society, or the
and
great level of societal problems.
Then they're going to ban the ingredients that are found in a bomb. That's what they're going to push for.
Sure, but I just think that if everyone had a gun, I do believe that an armed society is a polite society, and if people were armed, I don't think you'd have the number of school shootings and public shootings and mass shootings, which again have increased exponentially. If everyone's armed, they would be too much of a bitch to go do it.
Yeah, there's enough gun load bombs are easier.
Yeah, or they'll do car crimes like they do in the UK. They'll get in a car and run people over, and France and etc. In Europe.
Yeah. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I thought. Because they said, like, oh, well, if they're... Because, like, the gun isn't the problem. The gun is just a manifestation of the rage.
The guns are not a problem at all.
No, it's true.
I mean, they really are not. Guns are not a problem. A gun doesn't do anything. It's an inanimate object. But a gun can protect you, right? You can also do damage. I truly believe that you would not have the increasing rate, because at the same time that the school shootings and the mass shootings increase, it coincides with stricter and stricter legislation on being able to access firearms.
Yeah, what did Ted Kaczynski do?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're always going to have crazy people, right? And you're always going to have people who are going to try to do violence. But I think the likelihood of these school shootings is going to go down the more people in society are armed. I think we're gonna just have to disagree on this.
Yeah, probably. See, look, we can be civil.
No, I'm a lifetime Gun Owners of America member and a lifetime NRA. And I don't even like the NRA. It's more about making a statement.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the first time we can disagree. I mean, she's fun. She can be wrong about something. I don't ever think that I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm always right about everything. If that even made any sense.
I think I got you.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Aiden is based, but Aiden is based for different reasons.
look, I just...
Aiden is based for her severe disliking of females.
Well, look, I don't dislike women inherently.
They're
I
just
like
not in positions of power.
behavior. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Someone on Twitter said that I would never be able to get a girl saying things like women shouldn't vote or shouldn't be in power. And I was like,
whoops.
Like, really? I can guarantee if I said to a female who's like conservative, women should not be in the military. Only men should serve. That's not gonna not get me laid. And like, I mean, yeah, that's sane. We agree with that. And it's not a hot take. That's just sense.
Will it get you laid? It depends on the woman, honestly. And I think that I don't know. But
I think my voice is what will get me laid. It doesn't matter what I'm saying.
Most likely. But the thing is, again,
up, but it
goes back to the Amber Heard thing, though, has shown that women can't, like, I've talked to lots of people about this and heard lots of people talk about it. Men have been in support of Johnny Depp, but I have not seen any one group of people on Earth hate Amber Heard more than women. Like, women can't stand, because one, she makes a mockery of real victims of DV, and that's the big one. And two, she just makes all women look bad. She really, particularly because she makes herself an ambassador of women and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, I represent all women. Not me at all. Hell no. You don't represent me in the slightest, you nasty bitch. Ew. No, thank you. Where were we at? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, sorry. Let's see.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, let's see. Crisis let's see. Unable to get Congress to pass legislation to curb gun violence, Democratic leaders are at a loss about how he can revive his prospects by November. Here's an idea. Do the exact fucking opposite of what you're doing now, you daft old git.
No, but but then it's not good for their, you know.
Oh, what they're doing now is just making them craters, so clearly reverse fucking course. It's not difficult.
No, I think they want to actually
destroy their own party.
Things. No, I think they kind of want to destroy America a little bit, and then hope that out of desperation people will keep voting for them. I think that is a weird strategy.
That's a suicidally stupid one.
But I can't imagine what else it is. Well, you bully everyone. You try to remove free speech so that they can't say anything against you. Then you make everybody desperate and sad and scared, which is what they did with COVID, for example.
And then you're going to vote for all the people that caused the hell.
But we'll see.
I don't know how the hell that works. I don't know why you would vote for anyone that caused the fucking problems in the first place. That to me is just so stupid.
People don't know that they caused the problems. They just see the problems, and then they, a lot of times, again, cognitive mindfulness, they go, well, I don't know. I don't know what caused it.
Are people really that stupid?
People pay attention to their soap operas and their TV shows, even though that's all been, shut down because of COVID. They pay attention to drama. They pay attention to things in their own personal lives. They can see, now again, like the gas up at the pump, the cost of milk being up, the cost of bread being up. People can see and feel that. And I don't know how much they'll buy the line, which is that, well, it's not really our fault. It's the thing that, well, I was left all this by Trump. He did all this. It's the Republicans. They're doing all this. Now, you'll notice that there's been a pretty definitive shift in things over the last couple months. While the economy is doing terribly, now we've got the Democrats' pet favorite issues back on the plate, boys. It's abortion. It's gun control. These are the things that they think they can win on. Oh, and trans rights issues, gay rights issues. That if we run on all these things, so we can, when it comes to the midterms, it doesn't matter that everyone can feel the pain in their pockets. If we can just run on, hey, well, look at how evil the Republicans are. They don't want kids to learn in school about how it's okay to be gay. They want to ban the word gay from curriculum, and Republicans want to force women to be pregnant and give birth to rape babies. And Republicans want to, they're the party of dead kids, says Ethan Klein, for example.
He's been insane the last week.
Oh my God, yes, he's been insane. People have not seen the crap Ethan Klein has been saying on the internet. He is utterly unhinged.
He said you should go boom the NRA meeting,
and then shoot up a Walmart.
Oh, you said that as well?
Yeah, in a Republican area. He said, "Why do you always do that?" To kill Republicans. Because he wants to kill Republicans. I mean, he's being pretty overt. He wants them to kill. He said, "Bomb the NRA and go shoot up a Walmart." And by the way, what an elitist thing, thinking that the only people who shop at Walmart are Republicans and conservatives. How about people who don't have who aren't multimillionaires, Ethan? How about that? Which includes a lot of Black and Latina people, you know?
I don't think most people just go to Walmart because it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's convenient.
Yeah.
But he's such an elitist prick. He thinks that would be,
I described Hunter Biden's sex life, by the way.
Right? But I mean, that's how these kinds of people on the far left, and he's completely inculcated into that and indoctrinated into it. I don't use the word indoctrinated because I think that implies an external force. I think he did it to himself. But yeah, he talked about and then cries, and then he plays victim and cries when he gets the smallest amount of blowback from YouTube. He gets like a week-long ban for literally calling for people to bomb buildings and shoot up Walmarts.
You're openly admitting to engaging in a terrorist attack.
To encouraging terrorism, for sure.
Yes,
which is against YouTube's rules specifically.
A week and the fact that his channel isn't banned is fucking insane.
I know. I mean, if any of the rest of us did that, again, Susan Wojcicki's been on his podcast. He clearly plays by different rules, and people can see that, and they don't appreciate that, by the way. They don't appreciate that you clearly don't play by the same rules as everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I go with the canon treatment, because it's funny. Let's see what it says here. I don't know what's required here, said Representative James Clyburn. By the way, James Clyburn is the reason why you've got that stupid black bint on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, to be honest.
Because for those of you who don't know, is Clyburn is he's a representative in South Carolina, and he said to Biden, "Promise you'll put a black woman on the Supreme Court, and I'll get you the minority vote," and he did.
Yep.
So it's nothing but a shady backroom deal being completed. That's all that bloody well is. And I don't think anyone who can't identify what a female is should be on the Supreme Court. And also, it does make everyone that isn't white look really, really stupid, or otherwise known as confirming.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It's just...
No, it does. If you demonize everyone that isn't a white male, and you put them in power exclusively because they're not a white male,
I mean, yeah.
It means they're going to suck, and your common sense is going to say, why is it that everyone that isn't a white male is clearly a fucking moron who is out of their depth and not at all qualified for the position? It means that on the flip side, you're going to see a white male and think, hey, look, white male. We don't see many of them today. So if they're in power, that must mean they're competent.
I'm not sure about all that.
Well, not with the Democrats, but, you know. Like I said this before, I see this with movies. If I see a white male in a movie, I instantly assume the movie's going to be good. Because it's true.
No, I'm not sure about that either.
No, that works. That's because it's true.
No, because it's more that if you see like a really weird forced, like the Lord of the Rings stuff, you know, when it's like, why are you doing this? That's a sign to me where it's some pointless, you know,
it's gimmicky.
Yeah. We just want to do this because we know it'll get us attention. Yeah. That's a big turnoff for me.
It's trendy.
That's an immediate turnoff for me, and I'm not. Yeah, I would say that it's the same thing where I mean, again, the way it was stated for oh gosh, now the new justice, her name's escaping me, but
Ketanji Brown.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. Yeah, it was the fact that they specifically said we need a black woman. So that's telling me you don't care about
Top Gun Maverick. There you go.
That you don't care about her criteria, you don't care about her qualifications, you just care about the color of her skin and and her sex. And I'm sorry, but I think that's a really bad way to base decisions on putting people onto a lifetime position as a Supreme Court justice on, for example, or making a movie or anything. And it's.
No, I agree.
The left has become so overtly racist and sexist, and they think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're overtly racist and sexist. Well, not for me. Yeah. I actually do care about liberty, and I don't think this is a good way of going about it by saying the only thing that matters to us. That the only thing that matters,
isn't that the funniest thing about the American system is that the only thing that keeps the country from, going out of fucking control is lifetime positions on the Supreme Court that are not elected.
Yes, that is interesting, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
as I said earlier, the problem with the voting with voting is that you get Republicans for 8 years and you get Democrats for 8 years, and the first things they tend to do, not always, but generally speaking, what they tend to do is try to kneecap their successor if they're of the opposite party,
Aiden, that's
and they try to put
you,
in.
By the way.
Yeah, I know, and then try to kneecap their predecessor, and then they try to put in a billion, things to just fly through on executive order or through Congress and the Senate. But there as many laws as they can to try and screw over the other party, to tyrannize the minority of the other party while they are the minority, and then the other side comes back and does the same thing. But with the Supreme Court, they're the one stable piece that doesn't allow for this back and forth of ridiculous animus to completely spiral out of control. And the Supreme Court are lifetime positions based on not on popularity, for the most part, not on it's not supposed to be based on politics at all, but based on skill, knowledge, and being the right person for the job, right? Which is more of a monarchic sort of position, just saying. But William Nunya for 5. William Nunya for 5 says, "Please grape me, Aiden. I want to have your grape babies." Well, I don't know how to react to that. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's a children's character called the Grapist. He comes into your house at night and he grapes you in the mouth. It's a children's character for grape soda. He grapes you. He's the Grapist. No, it's from a Whitest Kid You Know sketch. Oh, rest R.I.P. in peace, Trevor Moore. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yep. Uh-huh. What set of challenges? I think you're muted. So I was just sitting here.
But I didn't even see. I think the biggest set of challenges was probably
sorry. Spoon always does that.
I didn't even press it. I don't know what the hell it is. I think the biggest set of challenges has probably been since I think Warren G. Harding had bigger challenges.
They said they came in with the most daunting set of challenges arguably since FDR, only to be hit by a perfect storm of crises, from Ukraine to inflation to the supply chain to baby formula. Okay. The one challenge you could say you came in with was COVID, right? All right, but that that had already been the thing that Trump had gone through.
Yeah.
Perfect storm of crises. Ukraine.
By the way,
we've gone over this.
By the way,
I mean, how much is that America's? I think America has involvement there, but how much is that America's crisis? Inflation that's caused by the current administration. And by the way, I'm pretty sure you can make a very good argument that the reason why Putin decided right now was a good time to invade Ukraine is because he knew the Biden administration was weak, which makes that your fault. Again, it's not your fault.
By the way, can I point something out?
Kind of. Yeah, sure.
That's quite interesting with the COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
You would think if the NOD was successful, Biden wouldn't have had a problem.
Right. If the vaccines worked the way that they were supposed to, then why would COVID have still been an issue? Again, they don't list it here, which is interesting. They don't list it here.
They don't
list COVID as a problem, as a crisis.
I wonder why. So, what set of challenges then?
Ukraine, which again, I think you can make a very
that only came in after like a year and a bit in.
About a year and a bit.
And the energy crisis was because of Biden's own fucking making, because they shut down energy production. That's their own fucking fault.
Again, all these other issues, supply chain and baby formula, these were not issues under Trump, and what they just happened all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yep.
These were totally random, unavoidable events.
Yep. Also,
just interesting.
You know what's interesting? Do you know how much debt I think was in when Woodrow Wilson took office?
How much? I don't know.
It's about like
you know a lot about Woodrow Wilson, so.
Oh yeah, it's because I studied Woodrow Wilson because he's a fucking terrible psychopath. There was about 1.5 billion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much there was at the end of the First World War?
I don't know.
It was something like 18.5.
Well, interesting. Yeah.
Like the amount of inflation, or not inflation, the amount of debt increase by Woodrow Wilson was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the amount of debt he added, you're like, oh my fucking god. And then what happened? Oh, he fucked off. Because he was going fucking senile in his last couple of years because his wife was apparently signing legislation.
I mean, I have heard that bit, yeah.
Yeah. And then who decided to take over? Oh yeah, Warren G. Harding.
Mm-hmm.
Who only served 2 years because he died of I think heart problems. Yeah. And then Calvin Coolidge took over. And then you had the Roaring Twenties. And then what happened to the Roaring Twenties? Oh yeah, the Republican was in office. Funny how that works. And then you had, who took after Calvin Coolidge? Oh yeah, Herbert Hoover, who was a one-term president. And then he did massive amounts of intervention after the
Wait, this is the period where you find all the massive amounts of government becoming enormous.
Yeah.
Incomprehensibly massive.
Yeah.
And you can
massive government.
Trace many of the problems that we see today to
Comes from Woodrow Wilson and FDR. Yeah.
Yes, and FDR and the massive expansion of government. Anywho.
I would say like the three worst presidents in the last century was FDR, LBJ, and Woodrow Wilson. Hands down. No one else even comes fucking close. LBJ was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
LBJ, I remember I did a video, but CNN said that Biden should do what LBJ did. And they openly boasted LBJ would get people into his office, get really close, and then physically threaten them. First of all, Biden is not going to do that. He's 84 fucking years old. If you clap him in your face with the elbow, you'll most likely kill him.
Yeah.
He's like a feeble old fucking man. He can't be a tough guy. Why? What?
Yeah,
but also, LBJ was 6'3" and threatened to beat people with his dick.
Yes, he did. That's the he was pretty overt about that.
Yes,
he did his
which is oddly based, but
no, I don't. I mean,
he was called LBJ. Lyndon B. Johnson, and he was threatening to beat people with his Johnson.
And
that's funny.
His dick all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of funny at least.
Diafity for 10 says, speaking of energy crisis, they are predicting rolling blackouts in the Midwest this summer because coal plants are being decommissioned and renewables can't replace them. Well, we could have all told them that. We could have told them that forever ago, but
that's to prepare you, by the way.
For the big green energy is,
because
I
guarantee you all the elites are going to have fossil fuels. And
they won't. As always, they won't have to suffer from any of this.
No,
because they never do. But yeah, I mean, these green energy initiatives absolutely pay for the Dems, who pay for them right back. They're all in each other's pockets. It's a giant freaking scam.
I don't actually think that's gonna work, by the way.
What? Green energy?
No, I think the fossil fuel is eventually gonna get started up again, because I think people are gonna realize that you can't actually do this. This is too much. We're talking about that. I think that exact call, or the exact conversation with LBJ and his tailor, where he talks about how he needs to take out his pants because he's got such a giant wang. There's recordings of him saying that.
I know.
Which is one of the funniest things you'll ever hear a president say.
It is pretty funny. But the thing is, we need to invest in nuclear. Nuclear's cleanest by kilowatt. It's the safest.
Even Elon Musk has said that. When the green energy boy says invest in nuclear.
Because right now it makes the most sense.
Yeah, and also the amount of power nuclear produces is insane.
Yes, and at one point, if we can develop fission technology, that would be, the place to go for it. But nuclear is the way forward.
We're gonna
the thing is that And the thing is that yeah, it scares people, but
it only scares people because of Chernobyl.
Yeah, and Fukushima and 3 Mile Island. I mean, nuclear energy is dangerous, but so is every type of energy, by the way.
It's only dangerous because but that's what the people think is. They feel like the crazy fallout kind of thing.
No. And when something goes wrong involving,
yeah,
not just nuclear
that's
reactors, but let's say a piece of nuclear waste that's been disposed of improperly, it looks so bad because it's the
no, that's true. But if you look at
fusion, my bad.
if you look at the death per energy produced, nuclear is really safe.
Comparatively, it's the safest, including more than solar and wind. And when people hear that, they go, like, "What? Yeah, well, solar panels, people fall off buildings. Excuse me. Let's be clear. It is nuclear is safest per kilowatt, right? Produced.
Yeah, and also windmills are really bad for birds.
Terrible for birds and the environment.
Yeah.
Well, for animals, right? People fall off the roofs all the time while installing and trying to fix solar panels. So roofs.
Does that mean solar panels are homophobic?
I guess so, right? Oh no. Oh, let's continue.
You will never find anyone who is a pro solar panels also gay.
Let's see. Chris Rivoli, author of a book about Washington House chief of staff, who is now writing a book about the Biden presidency. What's next? Locusts?
You're writing a book about the Biden presidency? Oh my god, that must be a one boring fucking read. You've been writing a book about
the Biden presidency, and you want to invoke a
that's a horror show, basically.
Biblical reference. Hang on a minute. I don't know if you meant to do that. Like this is a biblical plague stuff.
What's next? Locusts. That describes the people crossing the border.
I mean, why would God bring down his wrath on Joe Biden? Thought he was a good Catholic boy. It sounds like God's got an issue. If it's just random events of nature, or in this case, God.
I don't think anything is good about that family.
Apparently, Biden wonders something similar. Can you go, God?
I think his son would do well as a priest.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've heard him say that recently. He used to say that about President Obama's tenure, that everything landed on his desk but locusts, and now he understands how that feels, a White House official said. Biden is frustrated. If it's not one thing, it's another, said a person close to the president, the report adds. Would you mind reading this part? Like, what the heck? Can you imagine writing a piece like this, or writing stuff like that for Trump? Like, if Trump had done anything wrong, it would never have been, well, just an accident. It's just acts of God. Okay.
I think Trump had more to deal with. He had to deal with a hostile press and got more done.
Yeah.
That should tell you something, that Trump had less... He had less pathway to victory. He got more done, and the press was constantly hammering him. And Biden can't get fuck all done. His press is trying to suck his decrepit old dick every fucking day.
I know, with their best attempts. This is their best attempt.
Like, that should tell you something. That he's not really the president.
Or that he just sucks, and it's all just complete politicking. It's complete partisanship.
Yeah, because he's not really in charge. Somebody else is running the gig. And they're just running into the ground. Because they don't give a shit. Like, I will say this. Who's it? Like, Heather Graham is the energy secretary? I think that's her name.
I'm not familiar with it, no. With her, no.
I want to deck her. Deck, by the way, with an E. So fucking badly. Oh my god, every time she talks.
What'd she do? I've not heard her talk.
Just like it's... Oh my god, if you just listen to her talk, like... In Minecraft.
Bobby, that's what this article is partially about, is how... Biden's upset that his aides, etc., keep having to explain him. Would you continue, Spoon? Again, I gotta take a. I need to take an allergy pill. That's what's wrong. Is I'm
beyond
getting allergies.
Policy. Biden is unhappy about a pattern that has developed inside the West Wing. He makes a clear and succinct statement. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the idea of Biden making a clear and succinct statement. That has never fucking happened, by the way. Only to have aides rush to explain that he actually meant something else. Yeah, because the statement was not clear or succinct. That's the reason why they're trying to say that's what he actually meant.
It's the ramblings of a lunatic mind.
Yeah, exactly. The so-called cleanup campaign, he has told advisors, undermines him and smothers the authenticity that fueled his rise. What rise? You're only popular. I say popular, that's the wrong word. You only got elected. I say elected because the other guy was Trump. What's worse, it feeds the Republican talking points that he's not fully in command. That's because he isn't. He's not fully in command. That's the whole fucking point. Lord Commissar Spartan, approving of the name, by the way, my buddy in the Navy told me that part of the reason nuclear won't grow is because some of the generals in the military don't want nuclear material.
I think it means trade.
Trade in the civilian sector.
I mean, that's very possible, Lord Commissar Spartan. Yeah. Thank you for the 10. It's very possible. It makes no sense.
I prefer them than the government trading the nuclear material. Not Clinton.
It makes no sense to me. Again, it's safer, it's cleaner. It provides way more energy. It's difficult to make good arguments against it.
I don't like the way that they call it a Republican talking point when you can literally fucking see him on camera talking like a dipshit. Like, that's not a Republican talking point. You can see it.
There's now hour-long compilations of him saying nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, hours
or struggling
and hours
to say
now.
A certain fucking word.
No, he's got a stutter. No, he doesn't.
No, he's just old and senile.
Yes, and he says insane stuff. He clearly doesn't know what the hell he's saying at all. He's trying to read from some kind of script, which is why they always need him to be in front of a teleprompter and have a script. Anytime he goes
the second he goes off,
it's a nightmare. Yeah.
He's not allowed to say anything original because shit kicks off.
I mean, it's really funny, but it's not. It's
also incredibly fucking dangerous. Yeah.
It's incredibly dangerous as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Dog-faced pony soldiers.
Yeah. The next page. The issue came to a head when Biden ad-libbed during a speech in Poland that Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. That's because that's what he actually thinks. That's not a gaffe. That is what he actually thinks.
Again, this is anytime he says anything weird, it's just a gaffe. It's just oops, he flubbed. Oh, he's got a stutter he didn't have 10 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, if you watch him speak like 10 years ago, he speaks rather coherently.
Don't do that. That creates that's social contagion. Don't do that.
I'm sleepy, and I was been drinking, so what do you expect?
Okay. Well, we'll get through this, and then we'll probably wrap up then soon after. All right?
Let's see. Within minutes, Biden's aides tried to walk back his comments. I wonder why. It's like oddly calling for World War III. Saying he hadn't called for Putin's removal. He totally did, by the way. That was the fucking point. And that U.S. policy was unchanged. Who believes that? Do you believe that? I don't believe that.
How no?
I don't believe shit, no. Biden was furious that his remarks were being seen as unreliable. No, more like fucking unhinged. Arguing that he speaks genuinely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the terrifying bit, yeah. And reminding his staff that he is the one who is president. Can you just see that? This 79-year-old fucking senile old bag of bones saying, I'm the one who's really president. His aides are like, sure you are, Mr. President.
You know how he did it too, because you know how he talks. He was like, listen here, fat. I'm the president, not you.
Like, yeah, and it doesn't work. It's like, yeah,
and then he just kind of wanders off in a random direction.
Or like shaking hands with people that aren't there.
That kind of stuff.
The most indicative moment of his presidency was when he was trying to talk to Obama, and Obama was talking to everyone. And no one was talking to him, addressing him. It was like,
I know. It's so awkward.
Like, you are so obviously not the president. You are not in charge. No one knows who is. Obama, maybe. But you are clearly not. Like, people treat him like he's a lost, senile old fucking man who is utterly irrelevant. Which is true. This is what he is. But seeing him walk around like that is fucking hell. Yeah, it's funny. And I don't pity him at all because he's a fucking tyrant. He's also a complete moron who's helping on destroying the country. And he's making the world literally an unsafer place. So, fuck him. Still. Anyway, asked about the staff's practice of clarifying Biden's remarks, the official said, "We don't say anything that the president doesn't want us to say." Oh god, that so doesn't make the situation better. We don't say anything that the president doesn't want us to say. Like, yes, he literally said that you're undermining him. So yeah, you are actually literally saying what he says to want you to say.
Yeah, you're not allowed to undermine. I mean, like, and that's really kind of. If it was just one thing where he could just kind of, like, stutter, and then they come out and like, well, let's translate from senile old man to regular human being, regular English. But he clearly can't even allow that. He's so. I'm
the
confused.
president, damn it.
You think his handlers would have better control over him to be like, no, you can't say this to your aides. Now just go back and get in your comfy chair and have your little nap. And here's your oatmeal, Grandpa. And
you can just see like 3 people taking him by the arm and just lead him away.
You've seen
the
that
third
happen.
person just walks up to the podium and just says what he really meant.
I mean, you've seen that kind of stuff happen where like basically they just all like gather around him or try to make sure nobody can see what he's doing, rush him away from things. It's happened so many times.
It's happened a fair few fucking times, yeah.
There's been a couple times where they've chased all of the
most obvious one was with Boris Johnson.
That was the one I always think of, but there's been a couple times when it's happened. But when they chased all the press out of the Oval Office when Boris was there.
Oh, with the Afghanistan one?
Yeah, that was really bizarre.
Or the Indian president?
Oh yeah, that happened too. See, there's been multiple times now where they've had.
And then he says welcome, and he says like welcome to the American press. It's like, dude, you are so making this fucking worse.
I know, it's bizarre. I mean, it's clearly
god.
He's got God knows how many handlers, and they have to just take care of him.
And they're all female, I've noticed, which is really weird.
Yeah, well, again, because they're all probably nurses who are taking care of Grandpa. I
didn't even think of that until you just said it.
I mean, that's kind of it, right? He's going to go in front of the media and go, "My butt's been wiped."
That actually does sound like what he said.
It does sound like he said, "My butt's been wiped," to be fair.
You can always placate him with ice cream.
Bruh.
I hear a lighter.
I'm trying to light.
Stop smoking, you.
Don't say that nasty word.
If I do it, we get demonetized?
Yes, we probably already are, but don't do it.
I don't think we are. Are we?
I'd have to check. Hang on.
Let me see. I don't think we are. We haven't said anything spicy.
It doesn't really matter. Like, when I went to go live today, it just said, "You're not eligible for monetization." I double-checked it, and I was like, actually, you are. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Are we now?
Let's see. Limited. We are on limited ads, yeah.
Oh, god damn it. I try so hard not to say gamer words.
I know you do. It's who knows what it's about. They don't tell. Oh my god, they don't tell you what it's about. So.
Yeah, that's the gay part. Maybe it's because I say gay a lot.
There might have been ads before, and there still might be ads, but it's limited ads. So.
Oh, someone got ads. Oh, there we go then. Let's see. But all said, Biden's anger and resentment appear to have an effect on the Democratic Party. Yeah. As well as his shitty policies, with individual members warring among themselves and pointing fingers at his administration. Yeah, because that's what every fucking failing administration does, is they never take the fucking blame, which is politics in general, by the way. Administration's failures to make progress.
You always pass the buck.
Yeah, to make progress on a number of key issues as hurting their chances to maintain congressional control. Yeah, but everything you want to push is going to make it worse, because everything that you want to push involves spending during the worst inflation crisis in 40 fucking years. So you're just going to destroy. If you do nothing, you're going to destroy the country. And if you do something, you're going to destroy it further. So your best bet is actually to do fuck all.
In this case, it's better if he basically does nothing.
Yes. But nothing is also not going to fix it.
Yeah, of course not.
I was watching this guy early on Fox, and he's just saying, there is no deviation from the spending. And that's the main thing that's driving the inflation.
Yes, the spending is going up and up and up.
So you're just going to make it worse. Well done, you fucking retards.
And by the way, the thing is, too, I don't know if we'll have enough time to get to it tonight, but I do want to talk about this real quick, about the Sussman stuff.
We can figure that out on Saturday.
Well, let's do the Sussman stuff on Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Because just real quick without going into it, it turns out that the FBI clears Sussman of working with of lying to the FBI. And
I wonder why, with the entire jury totally being Clinton's pocket.
And Sussman / Perkins Coy was working with the FBI. Yeah, turns out. We'll go over that on Saturday.
God, the corruption in the US is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, I know. And in fact, like, yeah, we have a couple of things we didn't go over, which was some of the stuff about the school shootings. But we're gonna have Hard Mastered on this Saturday, so we'll go any things we don't cover today. We'll cover this weekend.
Let's see. Representative Stephanie Murphy, Irish as shit, as indicative. I'm just saying, is indicative.
You're Irish, or live in Ireland at least, so.
I am Dutch and English and French. I have good genes. I don't have potato spots. Also, I'm way too pretty to be Irish.
I'm partially Irish.
I stand by my statement.
Oh, so rude. Anywho, I'll finish this article. You get a little bit left.
You're pale, by the way.
I'm near translucent. So
yeah. Well, to be fair, so am I right now. It's because Africans don't tan in the Western sun, or lack thereof, to be honest. She told NBC News the White House has failed to put forward what she has described as an intellectually honest.
That's funny.
Intellectually honest plan. Just an intellectual plan to combat inflation would have been enough. Never mind the fucking honest part, by the way. The #1 issue among Americans, according to several recent surveys, and the fact that you're not doing anything to combat it really says.
Yeah, and what's the plan? What's the plan to combat inflation?
We're still going to spend a shitload of money. I like the way they just said
a shitload of money. Which do you know what that does? Oh, it's going to increase inflation.
You know what's my favorite thing is when they came out and just said, "Oh, we've decreased the deficit." Yeah, you've decreased the deficit because the last time you spent like $1 trillion amount of fucking money on the stimulus checks, which you're not doing right now. I wonder why the deficit is down. Maybe it's because of that. You fucking retards. A bill at the House passed among recent to crack down on alleged petrol price gouging isn't an answer, she said, even as experts warned price fixing would only exacerbate price spikes because they would lead oil companies to produce less. Yeah, which they've already fucking done now.
Again, they've told you, the experts have told you that this will not work. It will make it worse, and they're like, "Well, let's just do that anyway and see if it works." Okay.
Yeah, this is just
That's
the
malicious. Definition of insanity.
Yes.
The definition.
Yes. If I sound frustrated, it's because I hear from my constituents, Murphy said. They're struggling. It's not a time for political games. I don't have any words for that. It's just...
it's do nothing but political games.
It's not the time for finding boogeymen. That's literally all you've been doing since you got into office.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. Is all the Jan 6, the total full of terrorists.
The petrol prices right now is because of Putin. It's been going up for like 8 fucking months before Putin did jack shit.
I know, and we've looked at the data on that.
You
on this channel
gaslighting
before.
Fucking imbeciles.
Yeah, we've looked at that all before. The prices were going up well before the war in Ukraine started.
Yeah, Putler and
you
Putler
can't
justifiably.
You can't blame it on that stuff, man. You just can't. Yeah. Anywho, do you want to save the other stuff for Saturday?
Yeah, because I'm feeling sleepy right now.
I'm actually feeling sleepy too. I used up all my energy on that Depp stuff. I used up all my energy.
You were spurging out quite hard on the beginning.
I was not spurging. I was excited. I was happy. It's not spurging if you're
You were praising Depp.
However, what I may do, if you guys are interested, is I may head over to the Broken Crown Discord, which is the last thing I have to get into before we head out, is that there was a little bit of a revolution that took place. There's no hard feelings for that, but if you were there the other day, there was just everything is cool now. The Discord is back. It is normal.
As normal as can be.
As normal as can be for our Discord. It was mostly, in my opinion, funny, but because it was a revolution of beans. And if you were there, and you know about the bean posting. But
I just saw shit was kicking off, and I went, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah, yes, Furious Dan. I wasn't going wee. I was going wee. That's correct. I was going wee. I was very happy. I am very happy. But We up till 4 a.m. I mean, it's possible. Sometimes I get weird second wins, but I don't think so today. However, maybe we'll go watch a Johnny Depp movie after the stream. If you guys are interested in coming over and hanging out in the Discord, there is a link to the Discord down below this video. I think we're going to end it there then for the week. Thanks for always for hanging out, Spoon, and everybody in the audience, and for all of your awesome donations. I really appreciate it. Spoon really appreciates it as well, I'm sure.
Yes, I do.
Anywho, thank you guys again for watching. Hopefully my video actually on Johnny Depp, well, it's more specifically on male victims of intimate partner violence and DV, should be out within the next couple days. It's been really rough to work on because it's very depressing. But and I've been listening to Trial, which has been distracting. It should be out hopefully maybe by the weekend. That would be great. By the weekend, it'd be awesome. Anywho, we will see you on Saturday around the same time. It should be 4 p.m. So around 8 or 8:30. It might be 9. I have to double check on Saturday because we'll have a Hard Bastard on and we'll cover some of the topics we didn't cover tonight.
See if we can get V on Saturday.
Huh?
See if we can get V on as well.
Sure. I mean, whichever. I know HB said he'd come on, so that'll be the goal for this weekend. See you guys all then, hopefully, and